All right. Hello and welcome. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm really hoping everyone is enjoying today. Hopefully, you can hear me. Let's just let's just check and make sure that we can be heard on YouTube and that we are live. Okay, and it looks like we are live. All right, fantastic. Good. And let's just camera here. All right. There we go. All right. Hello and welcome. And speaking of Australians, here's one here. Hi, happy Australia Day. Molecular Arts says greetings from Hobart, Tasmania. That, of course, is in Australia. I'm wearing my Australian shirt here that my brother, who lives in Australia, in Western Australia, sent me. And it's got the Southern Cross, which is a constellation that you can see in the Southern Hemisphere and in Australia. And it's on their flag. I have a flag. Let me just grab that. Why didn't I grab that before? Ah! Okay. Yes, here we go. There is the Australian flag. And there is the Southern Cross, which is the constellation you can see in the sky in the Southern Hemisphere. So yeah, let's just put that up somewhere where we can see that. Yeah, Australia. Australia. All right. It is Australia Day. January 26th is the day that we celebrate Australia becoming a country. And I want to say, will Australia become the 52nd state? Possibly. And hello to PvP. And hopefully you can hear me. Let's just. Yep, it looks like there's audio around my avatar. So yeah, you can hear me. Cool. Molecular Arts says New Zealand has the Southern Cross on its flag too. It does, indeed, of course, and it's got the red outlines around the stars. And hey, here's another Australian good friend of ours, Tyron Lethbridge. Hello, Tyron. Tyron's not in Australia right now, but he is Australia. He is an Australian, absolutely. PvP says, "Hey, Spidey, I've got to go do a laundry out of the dryer. Be back soon." Well, good to have you here. And yes, you can't leave it in the dryer too long. Everyone's saying hello, and hello to Old Man Beard. Eugene, hello and welcome. Yeah, it is Australia for 2 hours and 9 minutes more. Okay, awesome, Tyron. And where did you, let's find you and send you a link, Tyron, in case you want to come up on the stream. Any Australian, please come on up on the stream. You're more than welcome to. And I've also sent out an invitation to Scotty R37 because I know that he spent over a year in Australia. So there you go, Tyron. You have it. If you wish to join, you're more than welcome to join. So I'm wearing the Australian hat that I picked up when I first traveled to Australia in 1987, December 26th. It was Boxing Day. Flew into Australia and spent some time in Sydney. And with the Boy Scout Jamboree, they were hosting a world jamboree, actually. 122 countries were there, I believe, in Cataract Scout Park. And so I picked this hat up there. It's made from real Australian sheep, a felt cowboy hat. And so, yeah, and the Australian shirt. So I want to raise a beverage. Cheers, Australia. We are thrilled that you are a country. And I have a great many Australian friends, too many to list here. But cheers. Cheers to Australia. Thanks for being a country. Possibly one of the most amazing countries I've seen. Uh, yeah, maybe the most beautiful country in all the world. Maybe. And excellent. Good. I'm glad you can hear me. Uh, Thanks for being here. And Scotty R37. Oh, Scotty R37. We were just talking about you. Says I was madly in love with a woman, a Canadian woman. We went to Australia together. I met a chef. He said to me, "Why did you bring a woman to Australia?" I told him I loved her. The chef didn't argue. Well, he should have. And hey, Rusty Rivers, happy Australia Day to you, my friend. A true story. Yeah, I bet you that is probably a true story. An old man bird says Australia is one of the two continents I have not been to. Bet you can guess the other. Far East Asia. Yeah, Asia's pretty amazing. Australia is an amazing country and an amazing continent. Lemon Pie says, "That's not a knife. This is a knife." Yes. Crocodile Dundee came out in theaters the year that I went to Australia, just after I came back, actually. And so it was, everyone was excited about Australia because of Crocodile Dundee was an incredibly big movie. Anyone alive back then, it was in theaters for months and months. And so everyone was talking about Australia. It was on Time Magazine and People Magazine and Reader's Digest. Everything was Australia, Australia, Australia. And I had just come back from there, so it was perfect timing. And I want to say hello to our friend Kronos. Hi, Kronos. Welcome. I always pictured you as an Australian as well, Kronos. And I want to hello to Gunnar. Welcome. And glad to have you here. Cheers. All right. Doesn't seem to be working, so we switch back to these. So yeah, I'm gonna let's take a little tour of Australia. I think I've been there 4 times or 5 times, maybe 5 times, and yeah, just love it. Love the country. I've been to all around, pretty much every state, and didn't spend much time in ACT though. I was on a train passing through, or a bus rather, passing through, and so I didn't really stop in Canberra. Tyron Lethbridge says, "It will need to be taken by force, PvP, Australia. I have a bunch of mates here in Texas that are prepared to help in that endeavor." Yep. Well, I bet you they couldn't run it any worse than the Australian government has been running Australia in the last 5 years. And hello, Charlotte C. She says, "G'day, cunts." Yes, Australians love to use that word. G'day. I'm talking about g'day. And I want to say, no fire. No, it's a little cold out there. It's a little cold. If we had Australia's weather, I would have a fire. My name Bruce. No, it's Steve. But welcome, FKHC, and that is a kangaroo on your logo. So that is the that's excellent. The kangaroos and the emus are the national animals of Australia. G'day, everyone. Hello. And I want to say, hey, Rancor Steve, hello and welcome and happy Australia Day. Cheers. Cheers to you, Rancor Steve and Matt G. Happy Australia Day. 1 week ago, I got engaged, says Charlotte C. Wow. Hey, congratulations. That's awesome. And hey, good to see you. Tyler Dallas Day. Hello and welcome. And yeah, I figured you knew that. No fireworks. No fireworks right now. I'm inside today. And let's just pull up an Australian map. And let's talk about Australia. Love that country. Here we go. There we go. All right, let's pull that up. Right. There it is. Yeah, okay, cool. And yeah, there is Australia. It is a continent all on its own, and a country, of course. And Ooh, okay. Charlotte C says 32 right now in Tasmania, says CSM. Really, you're in Tasmania, Charlotte. Okay. Fantastic. I'd love Tasmania. Yeah. Let's take a look at Tasmania, shall we? And 32 degrees. That is okay. So for our American friends, 32 degrees. That's I don't know, over 90. It's around 90, low 90s, 91, 92. That's t-shirt weather. That is gorgeous. And Tyron Lethbridge says, Charlotte C. She's disappointed that none of the teams she favored in the football got through to the Super Bowl. She went to bed. Oh, Rennie. You're talking about Rennie. Yeah, we do enjoy whenever we get Rennie around. It's Tyron's wife. And yeah, you have to drink. That is absolutely correct. Yeah. And good. Rennie said to say good day. That's fantastic. And yeah, good to see everyone here. Slept on the couch, says Charlotte C. Wow. Okay. And Tasmania is getting an Australia rules football team. Well, that's fantastic. Good. And I want to say hello to Suzanne. So let's take a look at Australia here. And so here's Tasmania, right here, and it's a sizable island. It is a state. There are 6 states in Australia. So we have Western Australia that takes up the western third of the country, and there's Perth right down in the southern part, and that my brother lives down there. He's just south of Perth, a couple of hours, and I've spent a lot of time there. It's one of my favorite parts of Australia is the southwest, Perth and Bunbury and Austerland. And so there's Western Australia. And then Northern Territory is up here, and that is a territory. Darwin is up there. And this is the only place that actually was threatened with land invasion in World War II. The Japanese damn near set foot in Australia up here. They bombed the crap out of Darwin. There's a museum in Darwin that shows all of that. That's quite fascinating. And this is also where Uluru or Ayers Rock is, and that's in the middle of Australia, which is the southern part of Northern Territory. And then below Northern Territory is South Australia, and that is a proper state. And Adelaide is the city there. They have an excellent chocolate museum in there, Hyde's Chocolate Factories, right downtown. And then we have the state of Victoria is down here, and Melbourne is possibly the most modern city in all of Australia is Melbourne, and that's right here. Then the state of Tasmania is just south. And then we have Canberra is the ACT, the Australia Capital Territory. Canberra is the capital of Australia. It's not Sydney. And ACT, standing for Australia Capital Territory, is a territory, sort of like Washington, D.C., I suppose. It's not actually a state, but the capital is located in it. And then, of course, we have New South Wales, where Sydney is the most famous city in Australia, and that's in southern New South Wales. And then, of course, my favorite state, I think, is Queensland, north of New South Wales. It takes up the entire northeast quarter of Australia, and the famous city there is Brisbane, and everyone calls it Bris Vegas. And Cairns, of course, is in the north, and that's a great launching point for the Great Barrier Reef, which is off in the Coral Sea, and that is in the north east of Australia. And it stretches pretty much not quite down to Brisbane, but it stretches really far down the east coast. And so let's take a look, and let's swoop right into Tasmania. And yes, there's Hobart right there in the south part of Tasmania. And I have a buddy that lives in Launceston. Shout out to Justin. And Launceston is a beautiful drive all the way down to Hobart. You can drive it in an afternoon. Well, a few hours. I think it took 4.5 hours, 5 hours. And beautiful scuba diving right off here, right off the southern east coast of Tasmania. And let's get back to the chat. Where did we go here? There we go. Rancor Steve is saying hello to everybody. And FKHC says, you can stick the Gold Coast where the sun don't shine. Okay, the Gold Coast. Yeah, it's a tourist spot, no doubt. It is absolutely a tourist spot. I've been to the Gold Coast. It's south of Brisbane. It's and Old Man Bert says, "All I know about Australia, I learned from Men at Work." That is wicked. I love Men at Work. And FKHC says, in North Melbourne, there is Arden Street, home of North Melbourne Kangaroos. Yes, absolutely. And Tyre Lethbridge knows about Hythes. Oh, I said Haig's chocolate, didn't I? Hythes chocolate. Yes, that's right. It was 20 some years ago. It is Hythes chocolate, right? A big square building, brown and white, brownstone building. Or it was back in the day. Your grandfather was there in Australia in 1941, 1942. That's fantastic. I mean, well, probably not a vacation, though, was it? Sure, let's see. I love Tassie. I was only there for about 6 months, but I had a great time. Absolutely beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. And yes, good. If things go south in America, Tyler Dallas Day, and I will take over Tasmania. That's a great idea. I'd help you with that. And Tyler says, Australia is scary. Too many dangerous animals. I'm chill on going there. That is what a lot of people think. And that's too bad because I spent a lot of time there. I spent probably 4 years there all up altogether. And I never got bit. I've done a lot of stupid things in the woods too. And I never got bit. I never had any dangerous encounters. I mean, I saw snakes and stuff, but I didn't get bit. And the cold weather, the cold in Canada kills far more people than all the dangerous animals in Australia combined. That's a fact. So if you're going to worry about things, I'd worry about the cold, not dangerous animals. But I mean, hey, if more Australian beaches for me. If people don't go, that's fine. And hey, great to see you, Suzanne. Good to see you, Suzanne. Thanks for being here. And yeah, the Great Barrier Reef. Absolutely, the Great Barrier Reef. A Tasmanian devil has more powerful pound squat inch and teeth that bite. Yeah, their bite is incredibly powerful. And they're roadkill, actually. I saw them all over the Tasmanian roads. They get hit kind of like skunks. And yeah, that's too bad. But loving Tasmania. So there's right here is they've got a Castlemaine Brewery is right here, so they make some fantastic beer right here. And then if you go over down south to the southeast, Eaglehawk Neck, there's some incredible diving right there, some great scuba diving. It's one of the only places in the world where you can see the weedy sea dragon, which is a cousin to the seahorse, of course. It's much bigger. But and they've got kelp forests like 100 feet tall in there. They're incredible. It's an incredible spot for diving. And so I recommend Hobart. And where in Hobart, what else did I do? Oh, up here, right here, there is Cradle Mountain. And Cradle Mountain is a national park, and so is the Walls of Jerusalem National Park. Cradle Mountain is right there. Pretty much the Walls of Jerusalem and Cradle Mountain are probably the most famous hikes in Tasmania, and it was quite high. I had a toque and a hoodie on, and it was cold. It was actually quite high, and that was quite a hike. The Walls of Jerusalem, quite an amazing hike. So yeah, there's Tasmania, folks, and you got some good friends in Melbourne. I enjoyed Melbourne. And Adelaide, Adelaide had I was there. They were hot. It was hot as hell. I was there for a few days. And if you want to talk the Great Barrier Reef, well, you've got to go up here. The Great Barrier Reef starts right around here. The Whitsunday Islands are right here. And if you like rum, Bundaberg makes some rum. It's not bad. It's okay. It's not as good as Nicaraguan rum. Now, this is called Mackay. Spelled Mackay, but they pronounce it Mackay. I don't know why they pronounce it Mackay. Who knows why? Townsville is quite a cool little place. And here's Cairns. Now, Cairns, it's spelled Cairns. Yes, I know, but that's not how they pronounce it. They pronounce it cans, like tin cans. And I spent a lot of time right here in Port Douglas. And that's an amazing little resort town. But Cairns is a jumping off point to the Great Barrier Reef. And it stretches, it's about a 2-hour boat ride offshore. That's way off here. And it's just an incredible region. This whole, that whole East Coast is just an amazing part. And Tully is a little town halfway between Cairns and Townsville. Tully is the wettest part of Australia, apparently. It's all rainforest. And there's a Tully Gorge. Tully Gorge National Park is right there. That's beautiful. And Mission Beach. Well, you can skydive on and land on Mission Beach. I've got a certificate here somewhere. Might be in the RV, but it's for skydiving and landing on the beach, and you're over the Great Barrier Reef. So I saw a sea turtle when I was floating down in the parachute. It was just an incredible adventure. So I highly recommend Queensland and that whole area around Cairns, just northern Queensland. They call it FNQ, Far North Queensland, and it's just incredible, really beautiful. Chrono says, deadly Karens. We have Karens in Canada. That is a bit of an issue. And Charlotte C., who I believe is actually Australian, Charlotte C. says, start of the overland track. The second SWC Taz is the prime killer, walk in, out, or fly. Okay. Oh, SWC's saltwater crocodile in Tasmania is the prime killer. Yeah, the overland track is a famous track. You need to take a lot of spare tires and water and food with you. And saltwater crocodiles. Yeah, I had some adventures with saltwater crocodiles, but I'm still here. Didn't get bitten. Went swimming where I shouldn't have gone swimming. Fortunately, the in Port Douglas Marina actually, and fortunately they were well fed. And the Southwest Track. Yes, the Southwest Track. Yeah, there's a lot of great, and actually up in where my brother is in Western Australia, there is right here, Cape Levesque. Cape Levesque. There's no S. And Cape Levesque is just north of Broome, and Broome is an incredible resort town in Western Australia. There's camels there. You can ride camels on the beach. And it's just a very, it's famous for pearl diving. Their Japanese community there used to go after pearls. And so just north of there, this is all very rough terrain. It's very uninhabitable. And you can take 4-wheel drive adventures all through here and go up to Cape Levesque. It's called Dampierland. And it's just an amazing adventure up there. I didn't go quite up that high. I went to Derby and Broome. Derby's where the prison boab tree is. If you know what a prison boab tree is, that's right there. But it's quite the adventure in there. We did some adventures up in the Kimberley. Northwest Australia is just unbelievable. And I went camping right here. Speaking of saltwater crocodiles, in Kununurra. And there's camping right through here, and there's lots of crocodiles in that area. So even if it's in an inland freshwater creek, you got to be careful because crocodiles can be there. They don't care about saltwater or freshwater, apparently. And Catherine has up in Northern Territory here. Catherine has the Catherine Gorge, which is freshwater, and because the water falls from a great height, there are no crocodiles in the pools, so they're safe to swim there in the Catherine Gorge. And that is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. And just amazing. And we hit there on the way up to Darwin. And Kakadu National Park is there as well. And that is where a lot of Crocodile Dundee was filmed. And it's just a beautiful waterfalls. Jim Waterfalls is like 600 feet tall. It's incredible. But again, there are crocodiles there, and you got to be careful. Charlotte C says, "Yep, Aussie camels. It's a national shame. Greens want them indigenous. Fuck me." Well, I mean, who knows what was indigenous and what wasn't back in the day? But I like Dundee too. I actually liked Crocodile Dundee too, as well. I mean, Crocodile Dundee 2 as well. Yeah, I like them. Man from Snowy River, dude. The cabin, yeah. I got the photo right here. As a matter of fact, yeah, the Man from Snowy River. Uh, that was an incredible movie. I really liked that movie. And aren't all Aussies prisoners? Joking. Yeah. Don't they get upset about that stuff? And I did show you that tree recently. Yeah, I sure did. The prison Boab tree. Charlotte C says no salties here. It's too cold. Thank God. Yeah. So Tasmania didn't have any saltwater crocodiles that I ever was informed about. A lot of the crocodiles are in the north, like the northern third of Australia, and there's that is true. Do they have any deer, or is that just an American thing? I don't think Australia did have deer. No, I don't remember any deer in Australia, and I was all over. I don't mean I went to every square inch of Australia, but I've been to just about every part. No, um, no deer that I ever saw. He had his own gold mine, Crocodile Dundee. Well, there's gold in Australia. Absolutely. There's a famous indie Australian movie called Nugget, as in Gold Nugget. That's a comedy, and that's a really funny movie. I saw it in 2001, and I think it had just come out around then. It was funny as hell. Excuse me. Charlotte C says, Kronos, that's why we don't buy American stupid woke when 80% of your exporting menticide says we don't give a shit about your menticide in America. Well, hopefully that's going to change. And yes, my great grandfather was a convict. Oh, no kidding. Nah, you don't care. Who knows? Absolutely. Awakened. There are feral deer in Australia. Okay. Charlotte, she says, no deer in Tasmania. Venison, that's a slightly distant piece, apparently. Okay, cool. I did have kangaroo, and I could buy kangaroo in Woolies grocery store, in Woolworth's grocery store. So that was cool. It's not there all the time, but I did see it occasionally. And yeah, I spent some time in Darwin. That's good. Now let's see if we can find it. There's a place called Gun Point, and I went to go. Here it is up here. Okay, there's Gun Point, and that is if you go up to Gun Point, it's maybe an hour drive from Darwin. And Gun Point, I remember that it was really big, and the tides went out a long way. And yeah, it's a nude play. You can get naked there. We did, and it was a lot of fun. And it's just a great big open place where you can just pretty much be all by yourselves, and it's a fantastic spot up there, and it's a nature reserve as well. Now, the girl I was with did get stung by jellyfish. The problem is jellyfish. We were just playing in the waves. We knew there were jellyfish there. It was jellyfish season. There are signs up, but so we didn't go in past our knees. Well, apparently jellyfish can parts the tentacles, even though they get ripped off jellyfish all the time in waves and so forth, and they float in. And just getting stung by a tentacle, even though it's not attached to the jellyfish, she had a reaction, and it burned on her leg. It was like a chemical burn. So she got it lasted about a half an hour. No, I did not pee on her leg. We had some apple juice. I think that helped. Anything acidic helps, because it's quite a nasty thing. So I know vinegar helps as well. Any weak acid, lemon juice, and Humpty Doo. Okay, here's where I worked at the. Okay, that was about a 45-minute drive to Humpty Doo. The roads up to Gun Point are really dirt and really not well maintained. But Humpty Doo down here, I worked there at a mango packing shed, the largest mango packing shed in all of Australia, I believe. It's a company called Arnhem Fruit, and it was right here. Humpty Doo has one gas station, one grocery store, and one post office, and they're all the same building. It's yeah, Arnhem Fruit is right there. That's cool. Yeah, Humpty Doo. It's a real town, folks. And oh, hey, I want to say hello and welcome to Alistair.
Pleasure to be here, good fellow. How are you?
You can hear me.
I can
The
hear
Australia
you
Day,
loud
my
and
friend.
clear. Let me go ahead and adjust your radio signal so that we're a bit more synchronized. Well done, well done.
Perfect. Only mince now to butcher most of the time, if not frozen. Oh, the venison you're talking about. Oh, fantastic. And we're just talking about Australia, not Foster's Tyrant. No, Foster's, yeah, that is not a good Australian beer at all. No, not
Well,
at
it's mostly Vegemite, isn't it?
They love their Vegemite. I've got some up on the shelf here. It's very salty. I do enjoy
But
it.
it's very vile, and you should not eat it on the air.
It's you don't eat too much of it. You just have.
You don't eat any of it.
Yeah. Well, they need the salt because they sweat so much in Australia. They need the salt and potassium and minerals and stuff. Local jellyfish can be deadly. You're right. Ooh, I've seen a few. Oh, PvP says he's seen a few major Aussie bands. That's cool. I'd love to see AC/DC. What's the number one band from Australia that you would like to see, Alistair?
It's a bit past my time. If I were to haphazard a guess, I would say, not really familiar with any of the Australian bands, so I will just have to plead the fifth.
Men Without Hats. They did the Safety Dance.
The Men Without Hats is an Australian band, though.
You're darn right they are.
I did not know that. Well, then I'll go with that one.
Yep.
You know about Land Down Under.
Yep, that's of course. That's one of my favorite songs. Oh, good. All right, PvP. I'll send you. I'll put a link in the chat if you want to. And yes, Humpty Doo.
Sane and sober. Let me help with that.
Yes, we are drinking a bit.
I'll drive anyone insane for the right price.
What, Charlotte? What? Pee? Oh, pee in the bottle. Oh, okay. Pour it on. I thought it said poop on the leg. Pour on the leg of the person in front. Yes, that's true. You spread it on bread with butter. Yes, you do. The Vegemite. And, yeah, and it is vitamin B in there. It's not salty. You don't think Vegemite is salty? You're insane. Which is possible. And yeah, absolutely.
It's absolutely vile, is what it is.
Men Without Hats are from Canada. I don't think so.
See, now I know that we don't know what we're talking about.
No way. Men Without Hats are from Quebec. No way. That can't be right.
See, here I was expecting expertise.
Oh, shit.
Well,
FK, you're right. I'm thinking at Men at Work.
Men at Work.
Men at Work are from Australia. Men at Work, Men Without Hats. It's the same thing. Men at Work. Thank you. So, what do you know about Australian geography, Alistair?
That's mostly a desert, and then the bush isn't that pleasant either. And in fact, the reason why it was a penal colony for the greater British Empire speaks for volumes as to the kind of ecosystem and climate down there.
Absolutely. And Alice Springs is you'd be comfortable there. It's hot as hell in Alice Springs. I have a photo of the thermometer hitting 52 degrees Celsius, which is 110, I think, right here in Alice Springs. And Alice Springs is where you go to visit Uluru or Ayers Rock.
I hope we get to the segment of the show where we talk about the local wildlife.
Ooh, indeed. Well, yeah, I've got a little bit of experience with some Australian girls. My brother's wife is Australian. Lovely, lovely people, the Australians are. Absolutely.
I was saying the wildlife, but the women can be pretty frisky too.
Mm-hmm. And yes, okay, thank you. Yes, Air Supply and Olivia Newton-John. Olivia Newton-John is an Australian, for sure. And here you go, PvP. There is the link if you want to come up and talk about the Australian bands you've seen in person. That'd be perfect. There you go. And I want to say hello to John the Beagle Dad. Hello and welcome. Hi. And yes, you're right. Men Without Hats and Men at Work, 2 different bands, and I'm sure PvP will embarrass me all about it.
Be sure to run him through the dirt and ignore the fact that I took his information at face value and have also made a mistake.
Yeah, Alistar is totally discredited in my books now.
Do what you want with that information. We all end up in some place after we die, I assure you.
Never take one single source's information as gospel. That's my book. That's the book I follow.
Well, I did die in 1933. You can't expect me to know everything.
Absolutely.
I actually have a very hilarious. I have a hilarious and sad story about Men Without Hats, but I'll tell you later.
Oh,
you want to talk about Australia first, right?
Hilarious and sad, both? Okay.
Yes. It was very tragic, actually.
I absolutely. Well, it is Australia Day, and this whole idea is to talk about Australia. And I spent some time in Melbourne, right here in St. Kilda.
Hats, so Men Without Hats quite a Quebec, so I'll save that story for another time. I have seen some really pretty big Aussie bands over the years, though.
Men at Work were the Australian band. Yes.
Never saw them, unfortunately. I wish I had, because I did like their first 2 albums were pretty excellent, actually. Actually, there was even like the third one. I think there was some really good stuff on it. So, yeah, I like Men Without Men at Work, but they kind of petered out after about 4 albums, didn't they? Kind of. Sadly, I liked them. Though.
I didn't even know it was 4 albums. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think they did 4. Hey, I'll just I can look it up. I can look it up here because, by the way, I'm trying to talk while being attacked. I'm being attacked by a horde of fruit flies because I left some vegetables in the hallway and now I got like a couple hundred of the little bastards flying around. So it's not been a fun night, even though I got a couple loads of laundry done. So I'm in a good mood.
Fruit flies, but you said you left out vegetables.
They don't just go for fruit. They go for vegetables too if you leave it out too long, little bastards.
That's true. Oh, now FKHC is claiming that Olivia Newton-John isn't Australian. From Cambridge, UK. Really?
Well, did you know some of the founding members of AC/DC are not from Australia either?
No, I didn't know that. No.
Well, Bon Scott, their original singer, Bon Scott, was born in Scotland.
Yes.
Hence, Bon Scott, which makes total sense when you think of Scottish, right? It's kind of actually hilarious, Bon Scott. I almost think, that was a stage name, obviously.
That had to be a stage name. Yeah. That's right.
And I believe Angus Young and one of his brothers, I think they might have been born in Scotland too. I'll have to take a quick Wikipedia page look here, but
and Tony, would you mind reading this interesting little fact from Old Man Bear?
Mr. Stalker is currently busy wetting his whistle, but I'll take a crack.
Alistair. Sorry, Alistair.
Olivia's grandfather was Max Born, a Nobel-winning physicist who discovered an interpretation of the wave function in quantum mechanics. The more you know.
Aha.
Okay, I just looked up Angus Young. He was born 31st of March, 1955, age 69 now. Yes. He was born in Glasgow.
He was. I'll be darned.
He's a Scotsman. He's actually a Scotsman, even though everybody thinks he's an Aussie, right?
Yeah. No, so there you go. I figured he was. Yeah, I figured he was an Australian. Yeah.
Well, I've been a huge AC/DC fan since the 70s, actually, Spidey. I kind of did my homework on these guys years and years and years and years ago. But yeah, I know it was him for sure. I know there's some of his, I think his brother retired though due to health, and I can't find him on here, unfortunately, because Oh, past members. Let me see if I can find on the past members list because I know it was Malcolm Young, and his brother Malcolm that has retired. Actually, oh my God, he's died in 2017. Holy shit! I didn't realize it was quite that bad. Wow. So he died at age 64. That's kind of tragic, actually.
We're discussing Australians that aren't Australians. That's right, like Bon Scott. Yes,
he was born. Correct. He was actually born in Glasgow, just like his brother Angus. So there you go, right?
Mm-hmm.
I knew there was basically the three major members of AC/DC are not actually Australian.
Hey, Theta Sort. No, I had heard that as well. And hi, Theta Sort. Colin Hay and the sex.
Fellow. Hopefully, life is treating you well, even though our show was quite short. It's a pleasure to see you again on such short notice.
Yeah, I'm glad I did pop in. I'm glad that he was able to do a little bit of a show. And so this is one of the more amazing spots that I visited in Australia. This is in northwest Australia, and this water is fresh water, so there's no crocodiles here, and there's waterfalls. So that's good. No, there's waterfalls, so there's no crocodiles, but it was hot as hell, and the fresh water was so relaxing. But those shapes were, you can see the earth being pushed up from volcanoes and all the layers in the earth. I mean, that's a geologist's, play field down there. It was incredible.
It's amazing geography. Yeah. Like, you know what I like about Australia? It's interesting in its own way. Just as Canada has so much amazing geography here, like especially BC. I'm a BC guy. I'm always going to say, if you want to see real sights, come to BC because we got mountains, we got lakes, we got 1,000-year-old trees. We got it all here, folks. And Vancouver, in spite of its problems, is still a major, metropolitan area, and it is a very nice city. If you stay safe, right? You got to check into the places you don't want to go because every city has that. But I'm thinking, looking at this photo though, Spidey, how once you dive in there, how do you climb out again? Like,
well,
is there a ladder?
There were you gotta be agile. You have to be able to climb and get around, and that's so the three of us. I was with two other Canadians, and we were all fit, and there was a girl and two guys, and we climbed in and around, and we didn't go anywhere where we could get ourselves into trouble. But if you go there now, there's guided tours, and they actually take you around, and there's little ropes to follow. So it's even more safe now. But this is Karenjini National Park is the name of this.
So it'd be best if you had expertise in rock climbing or something.
Well, or just don't have any common sense and no fear, which was what we had.
Well, I'm not sure if I got common sense, but I do have fear, so I think I'd take a pass on it.
I'll be darned. I did not know
I just get a little too old for these kind of adventures, right? Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but
from parts unknown.
I gotta be honest.
Welcome from parts unknown.
Oh, Flash in the Pan. I remember those guys. Yeah, they had that first album was really good, actually. I can't remember the hit off it though. There was a big hit off of that first Flash in the Pan album. Yeah, they were good, but I think they only did like one album and then they quit, right? So,
and Charlotte C says, "Wow, y'all know so much and you're smart, honorary Aussies." Hello. There's many Aussies that aren't. We are the melting pot that America will never be. Okay, you are definitely a melting pot of some kind. That is true. Howdy, everyone saying hello. And Old Man Bird saying, Canadian Spider-Man, recount the Australian reality star that I hung out with. Yeah, that was great over Christmas. Yeah, that was for the first Big Brother in Australia. Sarah Marie. What was her name? Sarah Marie Fideli. Shara's on Lemon Pie says, Charlotte was on the doll where American touched you. So it's good if we can poke fun at each other. Excellent.
Yeah, I wish everybody could just poke fun at each other instead of having wars and stuff, right? Wouldn't that be a better world? I think if we could just all get together and say, hey, we don't need to fight. We can just enjoy ourselves. But Doesn't seem to be reality quite yet, unfortunately.
From parts unknown. Well, now we know it's not unknown. It's in Toronto. Okay.
Oh.
Hail from parts Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hey, there are parts of Toronto that are good.
I just put in a link to one of the bands I did see, one of my favorite Aussie bands, and they're a certain band called Midnight Oil.
Oh yes, big fan of Midnight Oil.
I saw them on the it was the Blue Sky Mining Tour around 1989, Spidey, and they played the Thunderbird Stadium out of the UBC University. In Vancouver. It was open air, right? Because it's just basically Thunderbird Stadium. It's like a stage with a open air. They play a lot of football.
I've been there. Right? I think I saw No Doubt play there.
Really?
Yeah.
That was back in their heyday when they were good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was a long day. It was 2003, I think. Yeah, it was a while.
Yeah, because they broke up a long time ago, didn't they? No Doubt.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, Paul Green from Australia. Yes.
Well, I really liked No Doubt. Like their
Jackson.
Early albums were awesome, and then Gwen Stefani got pop star mentality, right? And she went all glitzy, and that's when I totally lost interest in what she was doing because I just couldn't connect to what she was singing anymore at that point. But I really liked No Doubt. They were a good band. I probably even have a couple of their CDs on the shelf somewhere still. But anyway, I just want to talk about Midnight Oil for a minute, if that's okay. They were well, I guess they are still going, aren't they? I think they actually are still going, which amazes me. Because they must be even older than I am now, these old geezers. But
no doubt, yeah.
When I saw them in 1989, I went with my best buddy, Jim, who is no longer with us, unfortunately. And we actually, I got one of my art school friends to drive the two of us out there because I didn't want to drink and drive, right? So I told him, okay, here's the car keys. You can have my car for 24 hours and do whatever. Just don't crash it or do something stupid, right? And I said, all you have to do is just, leave the car in the back alley, and then I'll see you the next day, and I can get the keys back, right? And he was great. Like, he drove us out there, so I didn't have to worry about having too many beers or anything. Anyway, Midnight Oil, they lived up totally to the reputation. One of the greatest live shows I've ever seen. They were absolutely fabulous. I mean, they were tight. They played all their hits. They played them all accurately, on target, no sloppiness. I mean, these guys were total professionals. And oh God, what's his name? I'm zooming out on the lead singer.
I'm going to show you where that picture was taken.
I'm thinking, Peter Garrett, the lead singer. Oh my God! I mean, what a front man.
So this is Australia, and the photo I was showing you was in Karenjini National Park. That's in Western Australia, right up here, right up in from Shark Bay and Exmouth, which is right there on the coast. That's a famous resort town. And right in here, Karenjini National Park is where that photo was taken. So if you want to go see it, that's where you got to go, and you can sort of see the terrain there. There's 5 gorges that all connect there together. And, there's a little river there.
Oh,
doesn't say.
Oh, little river band.
Oh, shit. Yeah, there's all kinds of rivers there. You can see
Little River Band. I remember those guys.
Yeah, I remember them too. Yeah, okay, there you go. You can see it. So if you want to see that waterfall, it's right there.
Anyway, I just got to say, though, Peter Garrett was incredible. Like, the whole band was great, but Peter Garrett as a front man is just, seeing him live is just like an experience on its own. Like, the guy is so animated, and he's just like waving his arms everywhere and running around back and forth across the stage to entertain the fans. Yeah, there's videos of them live on YouTube, and I highly suggest you watch. If you want to really see Peter Garrett, just watch a couple of the live videos on YouTube. you'll get the idea what their shows are like, because the man was just a powerhouse. It was like it was like I was Don Quixote and he was the windmill, right? And I was like, oh, I'm not even going to get close to that because he's too powerful for me, right? So yeah, it was a fabulous evening for like close to 2 hours. Yeah, it's one of my top 10 concerts actually of all time, I think, Spidey.
Midnight Oil. Yep.
Oh, they were great because they played all their hits. They probably played a few deep album cuts, but overall, they were there to please the fans. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, excellent. And what beer do real Aussies prefer, says Lemon Pie. Oh, great. Man, there's a bunch.
So you said Foster's was not worthy.
Not Foster's. No. There's Castlemaine Brewery has excellent beers. Anything Castlemaine produces, anything in Tasmania. I like. There's.
I think Old Man Bird heard me humming the Waltzing Matilda.
There's 4X isn't bad. Carlton Cold is a good beer. I like my Carlton Cold. Western Australia doesn't have any really good beer. Good to have you here, Theta Sword. Thanks for being here.
I imagine they must have like small breweries like Canada, though, right? That put
they do
cottage beers and whatnot.
Yeah, Yelling Up used to be a microbrewery that I used to really like, but they've gone out of business. They were in Western Australia as well, sadly.
Oh gosh, darn.
Yeah, it happens. And Peter Garrett, yes, that's right. And Midnight Oil was a great band, absolutely. And
I still think they're actually going, which amazes me. I'm not sure 100%, but I think of like as of 6 months ago, they were actually still active, at least during. I don't think they've done an album in a long time, but you know.
No. I was in Australia the first time for about a month and a half, and then I spent a year and a half backpacking around. I went back for another almost year after that. I've been back 2 more times after that for a few months each. So probably about 4 years all up, Lemon Pie, if you put them all together, I'd say. And speaking of being able to climb in those gorges and at Karanjini National Park, yeah, there was there was some hanging off of some stuff and climbing, and it was a great fun. So there's no crocodiles in there. That's again fresh water. Big waterfall to get down into there. So we knew we were safe. We knew it was all good. But yeah, just a lot of fun there. And Australia is the land of adventure. That is absolutely true.
I think Australia is very rugged like Canada, but in very, very different ways, right?
Mm-hmm. New South Wales, it's born a few miles north.
I've never quite kind of figured out how to compare Australia with Canada, though. It's like we're so different, and yet
we
are like we are like descendants of the same mother, so to speak. And it's like it's hard to describe, right? Because both countries have incredible rugged nature, but we're so different.
True. Yeah. Yeah, we are quite incredibly different. But they're gorgeous as well. They really are a gorgeous country. They've got incredible. Here's some right here. Okay, yeah. Han, of course. I forgot Han. Han Brewery. Yes, they make some good stuff. Here, I can show it right here. So I've got a picture of a couple of the Australian beers, and here they are right there. Okay, so yeah, on the right is 4X Bitter, and that's you can tour the brewery right in Brisbane. It's right downtown Brisbane. 4X is a decent beer; it's pretty good. And then that's on the right-hand side. And then the next one over is Foster's, and not a fan of Foster's. No real Australians drink that. Now the next one is VB. It's Victoria Bitter. And everyone just calls it VB. And that's one of the older beers around Australia, and that is quite good. And then, of course, next to that is Tooheys New. I didn't have Tooheys Old. I only know Tooheys New, and that is I do like out of those four. The Tooheys New would be the most favorite, followed by the Victoria Bitter, followed by the 4X, and followed by the Foster's. I think Parts Unknown agrees with that. Yeah. Have you had any of these beers, Tony or PvP? Or Alistor? Alistor, sorry. I keep calling you. I keep thinking Tony's there, Alistor. I'm sorry.
It's difficult for people to not to know that I run many characters, my good fellow.
Yes, Alistor. Have you had these?
Not had a single one. I've had a Foster's, but again, as properly stated, that's not an Australian beer.
Well, if you're in hell, it makes sense that you would have Foster's there. That is the beer that you would have in hell.
It's all Vegemite down here, my good man.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah.
Don't mind me, I am drinking to take the edge off.
Cheers. Yes, it is a drinking.
Cheers, my good man. I'm drinking Donabout Irish whiskey. Don't have any Australian liquor in the house, so this'll have to do.
Yeah, that counts. And let's take a look at what else. Oh, okay. Got another cup. Now, Han is another good beer. That's spelled H-A-H-N, Han. That's another good one. Oh, and this is one of my favorite beers right here. All right, we're going to pull that up. This is a Tasmanian beer. And I'm gonna
now, of all of those beers, have you had all of those? And which one would
you be? In vast quantities.
Yes. What was your preference?
Yeah, well, like I had said that I think the one on what I do with that, I put it away. So this is my favorite beer in Australia. This is a Tasmanian beer. It's called James Bogues, and the brewery is in Launceston, right in northern Tasmania. And I showed you the Launceston on the map a little while ago, and that is one of my favorite beers. This James Bogues. The brewery was a great tour, and that's the one right there. So of those other ones, 4X was Foster's was the worst. 4X was the third runner-up. The Victoria Bitter would be the next, and then the top one out of those other ones would have been the Tooheys New. But as far as Australian beers, this is my overall favorite. It's a fantastic beer. And
maybe next time I should bring on a puppet. We'll have Kermit be a guest on your show.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that would be fantastic. Kermit, I'm a big fan of Kermit. Kermit is always welcome. And yeah. Oh, thanks for that, Thetasaur. Appreciate that. And I would learn how to climb if there were crocs there. We didn't see any crocs. We did see a snake. We didn't touch it. And I did play a didgeridoo. Indeed, I've got a didgeridoo right in the corner of my room.
You should play it. Do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't even think I could make a noise with it, Tony. Let's find out.
Let's see how powerful the lungs of the great Canadian Spider-Man are, and how long that didgeridoo is.
Yeah. That's my didgeridoo.
Long one. That will definitely
back here, you can see the full length of it. It's it's quite long.
Spidey always tells
4 feet, I would say.
The length of my didgeridoo.
I think I can make noise.
Let's hear some noise.
I can make noise.
Boom.
Can't play it very well.
Boom. Something like that. It's a very low end wood instrument, isn't it?
As far as wind instruments are concerned, you could definitely say it's a guttural bass.
It's like bass, yes, very, very heavy bass.
I have spent a lot of time there, yeah. No, Australia. I didn't see any maple syrup in Australia.
I always wondered why no Australian band put a didgeridoo on some of their songs.
There's a famous what is his name? He plays in Whistler all the time, and he does play didgeridoos. He plays 2 at a time sometimes. His name starts with an R.
Wow.
It'll come to me.
I couldn't even play one at a time, much less two of them.
Yeah, I don't even know I can make noise in this. We'll see. But this has a lot of ornate carvings.
You're with friends, Spidey. We're not going to judge. Well, we might judge, but only in a only to make fun of you in a good way.
He's still an associate of yours, truly.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, I like that guy.
Okay, don't keep us in suspense. Here we go. Yeah.
What a strip on the bobby.
It is terribly hard to make noise, but yes, I spent months.
You have the lungs of basically a demigod to be able to play those.
And learn how to circular breathe. Yeah.
That reminded me of when I had a really bad meal the night before, I gotta say.
Ooh, okay. From Parts Unknown says, not Aussie related, but
I say,
a ride to hell.
Good on you, Spidey. You did well there, actually, guy.
I was able to make noise. I did make noise.
You did quite well, my good man. It was a very good effort. Great show.
You made a sound, and I'm impressed.
Yeah, it did. Oh, thanks. And no, Foster's is not. I know it's advertised as Australian for beer, but yeah, don't believe them. Cheers, Kronos.
Cheers, gentlemen. I suppose I'll have another shot myself.
Might as well.
I put a link in earlier to a film called On the Beach from 1959. It's an American film, but it's all about the end of the world in Australia after a nuclear holocaust. And there's a submarine. Gregory Peck is the submarine commander. He lands in Australia, and there's a whole love story and all kinds, 1959 shit, right? But it's really good. It's a really good sci-fi movie, actually. And of course, the end of the world is inevitable. I think they are there for like 3 or 4 months before the radiation starts hitting Australia, because it's the last country, with living people.
I'm well aware of a film that takes place where an asteroid hit the other side of the Earth, and the shock wave, the blast wave, the last location of that event, the firestorm, was Australia. And so they had like a day.
I haven't heard of that
change.
One. Okay. Anyway,
I highly knows the name of that film. Please say so in the chat. You all are the intelligent ones here.
I just want to finish my thought. I highly recommend On the Beach. It's got Gregory Peck. It's got God, what's his name? The dancer. Oh God, Gregory Peck. Fred Astaire, Ava Gardner, Anthony Perkins before he did Psycho. Oh. Okay.
Wow.
And actually, he's actually plays the loving husband to one of because he's got a family, and him and his wife have a baby, and of course they know that the baby's never going to get to grow up, right? It's very tragic, and it's a very heartfelt film. Wow. The only caution I have is if you don't like the song Waltzing Matilda, you might want to give it a pass, because that's the fucking song they play over and over and over again. Other than that, though, it is a science fiction classic that I do recommend, guys. It's really good. It's really good.
I believe that Eugene Bird actually asked, why does Australia consider the Waltzing Matilda such a patriotic number?
I have no idea, actually. That's a good question. I mean, it's not like their national anthem or anything, is it? It's. I have no idea.
It's just a. I don't know. It's just a thing that the Australians love to sing. I don't know.
Well, I think it's a great song, but the trouble is they overuse it in the film, true. Right? But you could just always, skip ahead a few seconds, and you don't have to listen to all of it, right? I highly recommend it, though. It is a really great. It's a great science fiction drama. The cast is superb. The story, the writing is excellent. I mean, it's a very good film, and I think it's one of those overlooked science fiction films that people don't even remember, right? And I love sci-fi movies. You know that, Spidey.
Yes, I think everyone here does. I'm pretty sure, even Alistair. Absolutely.
So when you're doing Aussie night, I got to bring that movie up. I haven't even touched on some of the other bands from Oz, but I'll get to them later.
What if your favorite songs includes a didgeridoo? Really, Theta Zord? Which song has a didgeridoo?
Dude, can you share some of those? Like, you got a link to? We'd like to listen. to that.
The name just popped in my head. That Australian that can play 2 didgeridoos. His name is Xavier Rudd. Rudd. He's fairly famous in British Columbia. He plays a lot in British Columbia and Australia. He's Australian. He played in Whistler all the time.
Shit, I never heard of this.
Yeah, Xavier with an X, Xavier Rudd.
You want to put a link to? Has he got something? You want to put a link if he's got something?
I don't have any of his music, but I can try and find something. Yeah,
if he's got like a YouTube channel or something, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. I'm absolutely sure.
Just put a link to that, and then I'll find him. You know.
Yeah. Let me.
That's West King. Are you wanting to hang out with us for a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely, West. Come on up.
You know what I love about these streams, Spidey, is we all get to share information with each other, right?
Yeah. That's because I got to say, the chats usually, if you have a question, you throw it out the chat will usually know. And so here is, I just Googled Xavier Rudd, and here is his page. So it's XavierRudd.com.
Oh, that's pretty psychedelic.
Freedom Sessions EP. That's his new album. Okay. And yeah, he's got a whole bunch. High Times. Yeah, that's why he was in Whistler.
I have a feeling that I should be taking a little bit of the psilocybin while looking at some of these albums.
Road tripping. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so this is Xavier Rudd, and he has been doing it for a long time. He used to tour Whistler, and he looks like he's touring Australia. He's on tour this year too. Oh, he's in Australia right now. Yeah, he's all in Australia. So cool. There we go. Xavier Rudd.
Nice.
Yeah, he was. I did see him in Whistler. I saw him play once. Yep. Damn, King Spider has one of everything. Well, no, I'm still waiting on my Lamborghini Countach.
You want the 85, not the 84.
Ooh, thanks for that tip. Does depend on local laws. Yes. Play, yes. And I'm a pirate.
The 84 suffered electrical system issues similar to the DMC-12, the DeLorean. Could easily get yourself locked up in an 84.
Cheers. Ooh, so Old Man Bird says Tommy Emmanuel, the famous Australian guitarist, has a didgeridoo in one of his songs. Okay. That's cool. Very cool. All right. And I thought it was prawns.
Whenever I see the word prawn, I think of that movie District 9. Has anyone seen that film? It's a wonderful piece.
I haven't. I mean to.
I have it on my watch list, but I have not watched it.
I believe both of you have green sleeves on the Stock of Iron channel. We could probably divvy that one up on a member movie night.
Hey, West Kegel, good to see you. I'd love to have movie nights. That's something I haven't done on my channel, but I'm a big fan of the other channels that do the movie nights. And I think it is illegal to kill crocs. You need a license to go and hunt them. And I have seen crocodile meat in grocery stores in Northern Australia, but you have to have a special license to go and hunt them. Yeah, pretty sure.
Wouldn't they be considered like a species that could be hunted though, because they're so nasty? Like,
they can be, but it's not hard to get along with crocodiles. You just stay out of their area, and I think the Australians do a pretty good job of tracking where the alligators or where the crocodiles are. And
hell yeah, I'd stay out of their area.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Ooh. Alistor, do you mind reading this excellent list of...
and we are going to be doing our legendary countdown of Australian influencers.
Yeah.
We have, of course, starting at the very top, the Crowded House, the Choir Boys, the Angels, UMI, Jebediah, Regurgitator, the Whitlams, Wolf Mutter, Tame Impala, Frenzel Rom, Carnival, Powderfinger. I like a lot of Aussie hip-hop too, as well, says Tyron Lethbridge. Say that 3 times fast, ladies and gentlemen. 3 times fast.
Excellent suggestion, West Kegel. Excellent suggestion. Beds are burning by midnight oil, indeed. And West, if you want to join us, my friend, here's a link that I'm going to send you. So if you want to come on, no pressure. If you want to just stay in the chat, that's fine too. So tell us something positive about Australia. Oh, yeah. It's gorgeous.
The huntsman spiders are lively.
The huntsman spiders don't kill you. They're big and they're scary. But
all they want is a hug.
And here we go. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. Australia is all right. That's something positive. This is far north Queensland, off the east coast, up north, in a little town called Port Douglas, 67 kilometers north of Cairns, or Cairns, but they pronounce it Cairns. And that is a gorgeous beach. I love beaches. I love warm weather. I love bikinis and building sandcastles. And so Queensland, far north Queensland, they call it FNQ. It's gorgeous. It's tropical. I mean, PvP, who doesn't like a beach like this? Right?
Oh, I wouldn't mind it. Yeah, I could.
I would like to build a shack over there and put a little sign up that says Margaritaville.
I could take a nap in the sand there for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, hey, thanks, Daniel's Hot Topic. Welcome to you. And 16th like. Oh, that's fantastic. I had no idea we'd have that many already.
Hey, by the way, when you're finished with the chat, I will mention some more Aussie music.
Please, yeah. And Herc 130, hello and welcome to you, Herc. He says, listening to while cleaning kitty litter boxes. That's how important you are to me. Oh, thanks, man.
Mr. Stark does miss his hive, but soon he will have a cat.
Uh-huh. Oh, and Tyron Lethbridge has some Australian bands that I've never heard of. Tony, do you mind reading these? And have you heard of any of them?
Tony is not here, but he'll
or Alistar, sorry.
The Fundamentals, The Herd, Bliss, NSO, and Draft, etc. Is etc. a band too? I'm curious.
I think
actually, etc. would make a.
Of these, I got some homework I'm going to have to do.
I've never heard of them, Alistar.
I think etc. would make a great name for a band.
What if Crocs want to kill you? They always want to kill you, Kronos. The Crocs always want to kill you.
They're predators.
I don't know when New Zealand Day is. I sent a link to Carla Burton to see if she wants to join us, but
hey, we got to ask Carla, Spidey. I know Australia is a continent.
Indeed.
But New Zealand is an island, right? I'm just trying to clarify.
It is, and it's. I mean, some people call it Australasia or Oceania, including Australia and New Zealand, but Oceania. But I don't think that's a real continent. I think it's just an.
But even though New Zealand is a nation, it's just basically an island nation.
Basically, hi Sashi, popping in to hit the like. We'll be busy this week because of the Chinese New Year approaching at the end of the week. Oh yeah, there's a lot of Chinese in Malaysia. That's right. Kangaroos are fair game because they're a menace. They are a menace like white-tailed deer. So they have a hunting season for deer, and they have people professional kangaroo hunters. Yes.
Are not kangaroos almost considered like vermin? They're so numerous.
There's so many of them.
We got too many of these little.
Hello there, Carla Burton, and we see it to also have Sashi coming in, and the Padawannabe as well. Welcome, one and all. Cozy up to your radios and have
hi, Padawannabe.
I can imagine killing the kangas as controversial because I remember like 10 years ago in my city, it was overrun by bunny rabbits because dumb people, they get their kid a bunny rabbit for Easter, right? And then their kid wouldn't look after the bunny. So 2 months later, they dropped the bunny off on a side street someplace, and pretty soon there was like thousands of bunny rabbits hopping around in certain parts of the city. So eventually, they just had to do a cull. They did a cull, and they killed a lot of bunnies, and people were pissed off. It was like, you want to be up to your armpits in bunny rabbits? Like, come on. The bunnies aren't having fun either out in the wild, right? They don't know how to survive,
Sometimes you see bunnies having fun.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, that's why there's so many bunnies, because they have
R.I.P. Steve Irwin. Yes, I went to Steve Irwin's zoo, the Australia Zoo. Ooh. That's just north of Brisbane on the East Coast.
Is that
and he wasn't there. Died? He wasn't there.
That was the crocodile hunter PvP. Yeah. That was the man who decided to, after running a risk against every other wild animal known to man, a stingray, the one thing that won't kill you, kills you.
Well, that was a different guy that got the stingray. Okay.
Hi, Carla.
I have.
Wow, and I thought that my frequency was a little bit distorted. Let me just dial you in there, Carla.
Good Lord, is somebody mic throttling like yesterday?
We're trying to get your signal now, Carla Burton. Mic check, 1, 2.
That's good.
I can't hear it.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, it certainly isn't.
Pain.
You had it.
You had it for a second there. Oh,
that is a lovely sound wave impersonation you have there, my
dear. That's really crackly noise.
Bondi Beach, yes. That was nice.
Please do something. Oh, it's horrible.
Seems like, okay.
You're broadcasting from Cybertron, and we don't have the proper satellite technology for that.
Oh, yeah. Carla, you're always welcome here. You know that. So if you want to.
You were good.
She needs to figure out her frequency. Well, let's go ahead and do another adjustment of the dial. Let's see if we
That's
can
right.
Get our triangulation upon her.
See you, Sashi.
Carla was good for a couple sections when she switched something, and then she switched it again and got bad again.
So this is called 4 Mile Beach, and this is in Port Douglas.
Is it 4 miles?
Queensland. It's not actually 4 miles. They just call it that.
Okay.
It's more like 2 miles.
I had to be a stickler because, that's part of my personality.
That's right. And Carla, I did send you a link now, obviously. And hello, Padawannabe. I want to say hello.
I think Rimmer must have been messing with Carla's sound there.
Mega Crocalligators. I hope there's none of those.
And if you get that joke, then I will give you a cookie.
No, I don't get that joke.
Well, I remember this one individual that had 2 nipples. His left nipple would provide himself body temperature readings, while the other one, would pick up AM radio transmissions.
You don't get Carla. You don't get the joke with Carla because her image is Rimmer.
Yes. I was actually making a Red Dwarf
Rimmer
with a Crichton.
He was referring to Crichton.
It's totally a Red Dwarf avatar.
That was the idea, my good fellow. I was saying that I got it.
I like it. I got it now.
Spidey got it finally.
Hi. Yes, and Carla, you're sounding much better.
Yeah, I just
put my signal is finally tipped over.
You sound okay now, yeah.
It is tasty.
Yeah, your audio was really crackling there the first time.
Much better now. So, have you been to Queensland, Carla?
Yep. A lot.
Yeah. Brisbane is in the south, but this is far north Queensland, and I love it. And these are all tiny little holes that tiny little crabs make, and they come up and they go back down. They're all over.
Do the crabs bite you though if you walk on them?
No, not at all. No.
Look at that. Awesome.
Yeah, just gorgeous beaches.
That's a beautiful beach, I gotta say. Wow.
I've spent so much time up at Port Douglas and 4 Mile Beach.
Was this taken like early in the morning or something? Because
it was.
Yeah.
The shadows. Yeah.
I would think there'd be hundreds of people lying on there, and a couple hours later, right?
It's so big, it doesn't get crowded.
Really?
And they have there's a bunch of different beaches because Port Douglas is actually a peninsula. It sticks out. So there's a couple of spots to swim. And but yeah, it doesn't get crowded.
That's beautiful sound.
Cheers.
Though. I would love to. That's a great looking beach. I gotta say.
Cheers, Canadian Spider-Man.
What? What's Tyron doing? Why isn't he here?
I sent him a link. He's busy. It's Australia Day. I don't know. What's your favorite Australian beer, Carla?
I don't drink beer.
Oh,
But I love caramel koalas. Like I make my husband buy them all the time for me. And killer pythons. Yeah, killer pythons. They're the best. They're huge lolly snakes.
Okay, like
Allen's lollies.
Gummies. Yes, I've seen those.
Oh my gosh, they're awesome.
Charlotte says roux is fucking great, Kronos. It is delicious. I had a roux tail cooked in a pizza oven, and it was really good. An Australian made it. He sauteed it in a mixture of red wine.
But it's not like Australia.
Vegemite,
like Australia Day is a real proud day of Australia and all that sort of stuff, whereas the New Zealand one is just full of contention and nobody. Yeah, they just do their own thing.
Don't say.
But Australians know how to celebrate Australia.
Don't say chicken.
Australia.
It doesn't taste like chicken. Kangaroo tastes like, I guess, a good quality beef. Really. And
I've heard kangaroo.
Why does everybody insist that every form of red meat tastes like chicken?
It doesn't. And Fanny. Fanny means something different in Australia, Kronos.
They do say humans taste like pork, so I'm not too proud of that.
Oh, I would know that more than most. I'm a cannibal, my good fellow.
And
not ashamed of it.
Yes. Fanny is vagina. That's what that means.
What?
Yes. Fanny does not. It doesn't mean your bum. It means vagina in Australia.
Actually, Fanny was a rock and roll band in the 70s too.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think they were maybe from the 60s. Fanny was one of the first all-female rock and roll bands.
Okay.
And they still have fans out there, believe it or not.
And
I've never listened to them, but
do you mind reading this, Carla, if you're still
Carla
here?
said that she will return her alarm. She will be back.
Oh, hey, West Cagle. Hi, West.
Why, hello there, my good fellow. Hey, I felt like I just had conversation with you.
Yeah.
Hey there.
Hey, how's it going? I was just wondering if that means what it does mean. Does that mean Australians think that when Freddie Mercury sings that line in Fat Bottom Girls, he's talking about a big fat vagina?
That's possible.
Fat Fanny.
Oh, for the sake of Pete, you're gonna make me day drink again.
Wes, do you mind reading this from Charlotte?
Sure. Charlotte C says, it's high protein, low fat, quick to cook. I was talking to Kronos. It's all Australians should eat. We'll miss your bug shit if we eat what's natural.
Yeah. And there's Carla right there. Yeah, she's talking about kangaroo meat, and I do enjoy kangaroo meat.
Carla, have you fixed your alarms?
Yeah, who knows? I have like hundreds of them, so and anyway.
May I inquire, why do you have so many alarm systems around you?
Because I'm a busy lady and I have to remember stuff, and if I don't set an alarm, I will not remember.
The best alarm is an intruder alarm.
Mm-hmm.
Venison is better. Venison is better than venison. If I had to choose between kangaroo and venison, ooh, I put them the same. I couldn't choose between them.
I like my venison quite medium.
I just gotta say,
hello, Jason.
I'm never gonna watch Fat Bottom Girls video again with Freddie thinking he's talking about veg. It's totally changed it for me now.
Yeah.
It's just never gonna be the same because I know Freddie. Well, Freddie was like bi, right? Because he did have
he was.
The love of his life in the 70s was actually a lady. So.
And he left his house to her when he died. So
he did, yes.
Dougie's crew. Shout out to Dougie's Hostel.
I say bless him, bless Freddie Mercury, one of the greatest singers of our lifetimes.
I would agree with that statement. Yeah,
so
that was Dougie's crew up at
his vocals were still amazing.
And there's coconuts.
Freddie Mercury was a three-range performer.
You can see the coconuts on the beach there. They fall from the trees, so you take shade from the trees, but not under ones with coconuts. It'll kill you.
Unless you want your coconut fractured, right?
That's right. And Carla, you're back here, are you?
I hope so.
Oh, okay. Would you mind reading this from our friend Tyron?
Sure. Oh, hang on. Tyron's trying to stay super quiet because Rennie is in bed and has to work early tomorrow. Every time I put my headphones on, I speak way too loud. Well, go sit in the car. You can't not join us.
Yeah. No, what you gotta do is you gotta take one of the earpieces on the headphones off so you can hear yourself talking well.
Yeah. That's
why you're not too loud.
I'm loud all the time.
Carla, I love your volume. We need to get you in radio.
Oh, I don't think so, Tim.
I wish I would have loved to have done radio 40 years ago, but being in a one-horse town, they weren't hiring DJs.
No.
Speaking of music, can I mention another Aussie band that I actually saw?
Absolutely.
Okay, I actually got to see Split Ends towards the end of when they were Split Ends before they transformed into, what the hell was it? Another band. I forget the name of.
Crowded House?
Crowded House. They transformed into Crowded House a couple years
That's
ago.
Kiwi.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is a New Zealand band you're talking about.
Thank you. I got to see Split Ends when they had their 6 months in a Leaky Boat single out called Time and Tide was the album, I believe. In 1982, I saw them. They played, actually, this is the weird thing. I didn't even live here back in the 80s, but I traveled like 30-something miles just to see them that night because my hometown is like 30 miles away from here. And they played, in the hockey rink because, we're Canadians and all the big bands in the 80s were playing hockey rinks because we didn't have any other place for them to play.
That's true.
But man, did they put on a show that night? Like they played all the hits, all the stuff from True Colors, One Step Ahead, and all those fabulous songs. And it is still one of the great concerts I ever saw. I got to give it to Split Ends. They're New Zealand. They're New Zealand, though, right? I think I screwed up calling them Aussies, so sorry about that.
Yeah, they get upset at that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I know. But I do mix them up, but they just put on a show. There were probably like 8,000 people there that night. I mean, it was packed. It was like a full house, right? And it was standing ovation. I stood there for 2 hours. I didn't care. My legs didn't get tired at all because they were so incredibly good for those entire 2 hours. Every song. Power to Split Ends. I've always loved them since. I think I still got their greatest hits album somewhere over here, and fabulous band. Are they the most famous band out in New Zealand? Actually, I just got to ask.
I wouldn't know. Probably.
They probably are one of the ones that got the most international success, right? Because they were huge in Canada. Huge.
Kronos, that's a lovely bunch of coconuts. Yes, I did eat a lot of coconuts in.
Hey, Canadian Spider-Man. So what, if you went to Australia today, what is the first food you would get when you went there?
Ooh. I would say, because if Canada didn't sell Tim Tams chocolates, wafers, I would say Tim Tams. And I actually went. Our corner store is out of them. They sold out because they're popular. So I don't have Tim Tams tonight.
I can go get Tim Tams.
But not so. Canada has Tim Tams. So if I went to Australia, the first food I would grab probably would be. I might say a True Blue Aussie burger.
Oh yeah.
With the egg and the slice of beetroot. The beet.
Yeah, that's a New Zealand burger too,
and the pineapple. I didn't know that was in New Zealand. I've never been to
it's called the Kiwi Burger. McDonald's sells it at the moment right now.
Right.
It's called the Kiwi Burger.
Yeah,
it's
Burger
probably
King.
called an Aussie
Hungry
burger.
Jack's sells
it. We're starting to piss Carl off a bit because we're calling everything that's New Zealand Aussie. And I apologize.
New Zealand.
I apologize for my ignorance, Carla. I really do.
We're interchangeable, probably.
Almost.
Speak for yourselves,
Now,
ladies and gentlemen. I've been relatively quiet.
We should not think of New Zealand stuff as Australian stuff because they're a separate country. Damn it!
It is.
And as a Canadian, I know how it feels when people say, "Oh, you should be the 51st state," and it's like, no, I love my country.
See, this is the thing. See, Russell Crowe is an Aussie, but he was born in New Zealand.
Oh yeah.
And he moved to Aussie when he was 4. And he moved back to New Zealand when he's 14. And he's a cousin of one of our best cricketers.
All right.
Martin Crowe.
So does he identify as a Kiwi or an Aussie?
He'd say he's Aussie, but he's a New Zealand citizen. He didn't change his citizen. Like years ago, there was a window to change it, and he was out of the country all the time, so he couldn't change his citizenship to Aussie. But and I think they said, "Oh, you can do it," and he's like, "I'm not doing it. If all these other Kiwis have missed out, I'm not gonna jump the line or whatever." So he's he'd still fly on a New Zealand passport, even though he lives in Aussie. Like he said, his formative years from 4 to 14, he was in Australia, and that's where all your schoolmates are. It's you got the Aussie accent by then probably, and
yeah, it's like Canada and the USA, right, Carla? Because we get complicated because there's friends and family across the border on both sides, and it's just like I don't think it's like you're ever going to sort it out because it'd be way too messy. That's why I laugh every time I hear Trump going, "Yeah, we're going to make you a 50th state." I'm like, no, you won't, because it would be such a horrible mess. I hope Trump concentrate on solving America's problems in the next 2 years because he's got his hands full there. Once we get a conservative government here in the next 6 months, everything's going to sort itself out. And it's just like I have to laugh when I hear that. Anyway, I'm going to call. I'm sorry, I got to mute.
Here you go. I'm gonna do my camera, and can you see the Aussie lollies?
Ooh, I'll make you big here just for a second.
Have I got the camera on right?
Ooh, Australia, the lollies, the snakes. Yeah. Those are giant.
Those are the killer pythons. Oh,
those are giant.
Sorry, I'm terrible at this.
That's all right.
Here we go. And there are the koalas. Can you see some koalas?
Let me make you big, and I want it. Yes, the koalas. And hi, Tyron.
Yeah,
good evening.
Tyron!
Hey, guys.
Tyron is here.
Broadcasting, but not from his car. Tyron!
Do you know, I think that's a great idea, Carla. I thought I'd jump in real quick just to make sure my audio levels were fine. And if they are, I'm going to sneak down to the car and do what you said. Because every time I put these headphones on, Rennie will come down and she'll start going at me. And I'll be like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "You've been yelling." I'm so sorry. I didn't think I was.
That's necessary. That's necessary.
I get excited. Some of my favorite people are here.
Thanks,
Byron.
Byron.
You have to come today. You have to come on today.
Australia Day.
Right? I know. I got 26 minutes worth of Australia Day left here in Texas, so let's make the most of that. I'm gonna put myself on mute and run downstairs to the car.
Cool.
Okay. And I'm going to be talking with an Australian accent for the rest of the night. Okay? Yeah. No, I'm going to switch to Australian because it is Australia Day. And Australia.
No, there's no L in Australia. 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 Australia.
And Herc says his Australian food would be penne arrabbiata. I think that's with olives, is it not? Has nothing to do with Australia and everything to do with my love of penne arrabbiata. Okay, cool. And Daniel's Hot Topics has never had coconut. It's delicious. It is absolutely wonderful. Love coconut. And Alistar, can you do an Australian accent, Alistar? Or do you know if Tony can do an Australian accent?
Good day, mates. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie. Do I need to be a bit more liquored up for be able to get in the fight? That's not a knife. This is a knife.
It's the most Australian iconic line.
Yeah. It is. Okay. All right. So, which is better? Stallone's Rambo knife or Crocodile Dundee's knife? PvP, what do you think? Knife.
What do I think about what?
The Rambo knife from Stallone or Crocodile Dundee's knife?
Oh, I'd go with the crocodile. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
That was bigger, wasn't it?
That has got to be one of the most iconic lines in comedy movies ever. I love Crocodile Dundee. That's a great film. That's a classic, man.
What year was that made now?
87, 88,
88.
Oh, wow.
88. Yeah.
And we're still saying the line.
Yep. Well, it's a bigger knife, but the Rambo knife's more utilitarian.
True.
I'm not an expert with knives, so
yeah.
My only experience with those kind of knives are watching movies. So
yeah. Well, hey, let's see if we can get kicked off of YouTube. I will show you.
Yeah. There we go.
I will show you. This is the Crocodile Dundee, or a replica thereof.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Holy shit.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's a sword, awesome. Basically. Where did you get that from?
I'd say it's just it's a website, Damascus knife, a handmade forged Crocodile Dundee knife.
Okay. You ain't stabbing one guy with that knife. You're stabbing two guys through with that.
Or a crocodile. Yeah.
Jesus. That thing looks absolutely well. You ain't gonna be peeling onions with that. Let's put it that way.
No, that's
incredible.
That's wow, that's just a knife.
I'm sure if the Klingons landed and the first person they met had that knife, they might actually give our planet a pass. You know?
Yeah, I think so.
They go, oh, okay, you guys aren't that bad. We'll let you live for another year.
Now let's see if they'll let me show this. Do you guys remember this scene?
Oh my god!
Do you remember that from the movie?
Yeah, that's not a knife. This is a knife.
It's not a knife. This is a knife.
I haven't seen the movie in like 30 years.
It'll be less than 6 seconds. It'll be less than 6 seconds. He's in the subway.
Yeah, that's a good line, good scene, but I still like the scene where he's trying to figure out the bidet in the toilet.
Yeah. Oh, it's for your bum.
I'll tell you, but we have to also talk about the Castle movie today.
Ooh, yes, please. I love the Castle. Has anyone else?
What's the best line? We always say the line. 2 lines. What are the lines?
Straight to the pool room.
Can you tell me? That is going straight to the pool room. That's right. And what's the other one?
Can you hear the serenity?
No.
How's the serenity?
Hello. No, it's Telemy's dreaming.
That one too.
It's so good.
Yeah, the serenity one's pretty. Tyron, what do you think?
I really love it when Dale is encouraged by the mother to tell the father what he did that day. So tell him what you did today, Dale.
What movie is this?
I dug a hole.
I don't know this movie.
It's an Australian classic movie. It's called The Castle. There's a lot of Australian humor.
We should next Australia Day we should what do you call it? Stream
Live stream it.
Yeah.
Watch party.
Watch party.
Yeah, see, listen, if it's a movie and it doesn't have the line "The dingoes ate my babies," I don't know Australian film.
No, this is more iconic. It's awesome.
It is. Yeah, the Castle.
I knew a guy in England that used to call his channel "Dingoes Ate My Baby" for a couple of years.
Okay,
and then he realized he was being so offensive.
Oh, no.
He was being so offensive with so many people, and he changed the name. Thank God he changed the name of his channel. That's when I discovered him, and he's actually a great guy. But he's got one of those warped senses of humor, right? And that's why he put "Dingoes Ain't My Baby" on his channel.
Of course.
And bless his soul,
again,
he's really
quite
a sweet
iconic.
guy. But you know, sometimes some people just do weird shit, and I don't know why they do it, but they do. You know.
Tell us what you usually do on Australia Day, Tyron.
All right, so Australia Day for me was always about having a barbecue with mates.
Yeah,
it was getting an inflatable pool and filling it with ice.
Oh my God!
Or any body of water, and copious amounts of not water going into the body. All day. So as soon as the sun came up, it was like, righto, who's up for a fucking beer? And
That's right. That's right. As soon as you wake up.
And the barbecue would be on, and you would be cooking bacon and eggs for breakfast. Then you'd throw a steak on or some lamb chops for lunch.
Oh my God!
And the barbecue was just on all day, and it was just beers and barbecue all day. And the thing is, we had a big part of the cultural landscape in Australia was listening to Triple J's Hottest 100.
Yes.
Triple J was our radio station that was owned kind of like by the public broadcaster, and played all the cool songs. And the Hottest 100 was just the best 100 songs for the whole year, and that's what everyone did. You could. Like that's what you heard in the suburbs because everyone had that on at full volume, and obviously the ABC being as gender driven as they are today, are like, no, fuck that, man. We do not celebrate Invasion Day. No, we're moving.
They're like the CBC, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation.
Oh my goodness! The Australia Day was not mentioned once anywhere in any news articles or.
They're woke.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So they've changed the date for Triple J's Hottest 100 to I think another like a week or so down the track. I could be wrong on that.
No, they bent the knee.
Yeah.
Oh,
I believe so. I believe so. Well, they had for a while. I wasn't there this year, obviously, because I'm in Texas. But feel free to those other Aussies in the chat to correct me if I'm wrong. But man, it's not the same ABC I grew up with as a kid, that's for sure.
That sounds just like our state media in Canada. We're having the same situation. I haven't watched I haven't watched television for 8 years, and I refuse to watch CBC, CTV, Global, all the mainstream news channels. They're all woke, heavy left wing. And they're basically all being, they're all being driven by our corrupt government because they get funding. CBC gets like $1.5 billion a year from the Liberal Party of Canada.
Yeah.
Our tax dollars, which I totally disagree with because I don't like my tax dollars going to that woke garbage. And I get what you're saying. It's like I used to be able to celebrate Canada Day and being a Canadian, and the last couple years it's like, man, it's gotten so bad. Like it has gotten really bad. Like Anyway, I don't.
I feel that.
I don't want to.
No, I feel though. There's some ad campaigns that were pushed pretty heavily during early 2000s, late 90s, I think it was, which was really promoting the sale of lamb in Australia. That industry took a pretty hard hit with like years or decades of just drought. And so there was this big, really popular promotion to celebrate Australia Day with lamb. If you get a chance, YouTube, like just search for the lamb campaigns because they're pretty funny. But eventually they started to go a little bit wokish as well. And it's like, come on, man, that's just not Aussie. That's just that's not who we are, But those lamb ads were pretty funny. Always in the lead up to Australia Day, you'd look forward to the next lamb campaign. And
cool.
They were really cool. Yeah.
Like my picture I've got here for you. For your Australia
Let's have
Day.
a look.
Steve, put it bigger.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Here we go. And there we go.
Yeah, Qantas. Yeah. That was the last plane I was on. Sydney to Fort Worth.
They've got the best record of any major airline in the world, I believe, or they did.
Yeah.
Qantas?
That was Qantas.
I fly them everywhere.
Best air safety record.
Just don't fly over Russia. That's my advice.
Ukraine or something.
Oh, there was that one plane that went down like a couple months ago over Russia, right? And it's like,
Tyron, we have to ask you, what would you eat if you landed in Australia today? What's the first thing you want to eat when you get back?
Oh, do you know what? I reckon it would be lamb chops. It would be lamb something.
Good call.
So in the US, they eat pork like we eat lamb in Australia. Like we have entire sections of the supermarket dedicated to either beef, fucking lamb, or some chicken, or some kangaroo in the corner.
We don't have that.
And no, it's pork and it's beef and chicken here. And so I'll tell you a real quick story, which ties into the health of food in this country. And why I'm sort of happy that RFK Jr. is where he is at the moment. I was desperate for a lamb chop one day. I just wanted to get some garlic, some rosemary, some cracked pepper, and some lemon juice onto a lamb chop and just cook that up. Have it with some mashed potato and some green beans, man. I was just craving it. A little taste of home. And I see this lamb chop. It was $11 US for one lamb chop. Now that's insane. That's insane, right? Because I was one of 4 boys. We were all going through puberty at the same stage at one stage. And so when we were having lamb chops for dinner, that's like 5-6 lamb chops each. Do the fucking math on that. No one's eating that, right? That's
right. 5 or 6 lamb chops each, really?
Yeah, man. They're a lot thinner in Australia than what they are here as well. They're thick,
all food in Australia is smaller than American food.
Yeah,
American food is massive.
True to that. So I bought this one lamb chop because it was on special. It was day of like best before sale day. I thought I'll get that at 50% off, and it was so pink. It was unnaturally pink. I've never seen a lamb chop that pink, and I'm like, that's not the right color for a lamb chop. Yeah. I opened it up, and it smelt like roadkill. It was just death, and I was dry reaching around that. I just couldn't dare. It was horrific. The thing was rotten. Even though it looked fresh, I flipped it over. The other side was fresh as well. Like it appeared fresh, but the meat was literally rotten. And I couldn't eat lamb for a little while after that. I was like, I'm not game to open another lamb chop because they all look synthetically pink here. That speaks a lot to the preservatives and the colorings that they're putting in food that just doesn't fucking need to be there, man. Doesn't need to be there.
I really hate that when they do that. When they put best before and like half off, and then you buy it, and then you end up taking it back because just like you told.
Do they do home call there?
It's horrible, right? It's like,
do they do home call there?
They should just pull this shit off the shelves, should they not?
Well, you know, like they do waste a lot of food as well, and you know, when I'm camping, when I've been out in the bush, I've eaten food off. I've eaten things that most people wouldn't eat in the bush. You know, like if you've killed an animal and you don't have a refrigerator and your ice has run out, you're going to hang that in a tree and you're going to eat it, even if it's been sitting up there. You're just going to smoke it. Like, come on, man. It's like, I don't mind doing that.
No, that's a little different though when you're doing it on your own as opposed to a supermarket. That should have some standards, right? Is what I'm trying to say.
I guess, but you know, some places have got a policy. If the chicken's like 4 hours old, they're throwing it out. I'm like, well, that's a waste of a chicken.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the thing is, there are
waste of a life.
There are supermarkets here that will just send stuff to the food bank a couple days before it expires, right? Which I admire those stores that do that. I hold them in high esteem. Because I wish all stores would do that, because I'd rather them send something, 3 or 4 days before expiry date to the food bank to deal with, and and give to a hungry family with kids or whatever, then do what you experience for.
Yeah, but for every supermarket that does that, there's another supermarket that just when it expires, they put a new sticker on it.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Like the lamb.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome.
There's this.
I've
seen stories like that on YouTube. Exactly.
Yep. Well, Ted Nugent shared out a meme one time I watched, and it's so true. It said, talking about preservatives in our food, it said the longer the shelf life of the food, the shorter yours is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Tyrone, when I'm in Australia, I'm going to buy you some Milo, and then I might come to Texas in July.
Yes.
And I'll make my husband buy a big tin of Milo for you.
Oh
from
my
Australia.
goodness, I love you so much. That would be awesome.
I know. I think of you every time I see Milo. I'm like, Tyrone, this man.
I love Milo, and Rennie loves Milo. I can tell you who else loves Milo. My freaking mum, right? So growing up,
Panty
we had a
rapes.
rule because I've already
Girls.
mentioned the fact that I got 3 younger brothers, right? So a tin of Milo would get burnt pretty fucking fast in our family. So the rule was 2 scoops. Sure, they can be heaped teaspoons. That's fine, but 2 scoops of Milo per glass of milk. One glass of milk an evening. That's fucking it. I watched my mum pile in 16 fucking teaspoons one night.
Oh.
There you go, mother. That's where the Milo's going. Hey, fuck. She's like, I don't drink them every night. I'm allowed to have a treat. Oh, are you? 16 teaspoons, mother. That spoon was standing up vertically in the drink. Jeez, Mom, that
can I guess what Mom was thinking right then? She's like, "Okay, you assholes, I gave
boys
birth
are off
to
the bed.
all of you. I'm going to take a privilege and put 16 teaspoons in because you guys wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my hard work with my aching loins pumping you bastards out. Okay."
Yeah, right. What she wasn't thinking about is one day it's going to be us choosing the nursing home. So.
I'm
going to remember that Milo.
Then mom's gonna get her comeuppance then, I guess.
I got a trivia question. I got a trivia question for the panel.
What is Milo?
No, it's. Do you know? Does everyone on the panel know where the Bass Strait is?
Yeah.
Bass
Strait. The Bass Strait between Tasmania and Australian mainland. Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a ship that went down in the Bass Strait in 1934. It was an aircraft that went down into the bay. The Miss Hobart was the name of the plane, and everyone died. So this guy lost his father, and because of that, he invented the black box flight data recorder for airplanes.
Way.
Cool. Did you know that, Tony or Alistair? Did you know that the black box was invented by an Australian?
I did not know that. Mr. Stark is currently still unavailable. I've been hitting the libations quite heavy, so I've been quiet.
Can you name Alistair? Well, and it is Alistair we have. Can you name one other incredible invention by an Australian?
The pavlova.
I was going to say that.
Not including food.
I said, I'll say it again for everybody in the back. The didgeridoo.
The didgeridoo. They did indeed.
As a radio personality, I often will lean towards the musical inventions of a culture.
They did. And they invented the electronic pacemaker.
What?
Wow.
They invented Google Maps. Well, in conjunction with two Danish brothers. In conjunction with two Danish brothers, they invented
not TomTom.
Google Maps. Now, polymer banknotes, plastic money. We know that.
Oh yeah,
we got those.
Yeah, that's that monopoly money all you Commonwealth people use.
We love it. Yeah. We love it, West Kegel. And guess what?
They don't wear out. That's why we got it, right?
They invented Wi-Fi technology when it was. And Alistair, you might pass this on to Tony. They were actually studying in the 1970s the field of radio astronomy, looking for faint echoes of black holes, and they discovered Wi-Fi technology.
Mm-hmm.
John O'Sullivan.
Fantastic.
So that's an Australian. Now there's also the electric drill was invented by William Brain in 1889. Arthur James Arnett also was involved with that. The invention was originally designed to drill rock and dig coal, which is a big thing in Australia. So the electric drill, folks, the Australians. And there's one more medical invention that the Australians invented. Any guesses? PvP?
The cochlear implant.
Oh,
yes.
The barbecue.
They invented the cochlear bionic ear implant. There's another invention. PvP, any ideas?
Oh, no, I have to pass. I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry.
Medical invention. Anybody?
No.
For pregnant ladies.
Oh yeah, the ultrasound scanner, right?
Ultrasound.
Ultrasound is wow. It seems that they have quite a roster of inventions.
Were they the first country to do C-sections?
Mm-hmm.
No,
I think they were doing that in the Middle East.
I think we probably you're probably right on that. We probably did.
Oh no,
because what Australia has a habit of doing, and I mentioned it earlier in the chat as a passing thing, that Australia likes to claim people of note and things of note, like that exceptional thing, like Phar Lap the horse.
You wash your mouth.
Pavlova.
You wash your mouth.
They did a movie on Phar Lap.
Okay, time for Spider-Man to play some didgeridoo.
There you go. You got to.
Phar Lap the horse would be proud, my good fellow.
You got to work on that circular breathing, Spidey.
I'm good at circular jerking, just not circular breathing.
I always thought you were a pivot man myself, but hey.
Okay. When did Gorilla take over the stream with the circular jerking stuff?
Well, see, that
Gorilla,
was
he's not here. Is he?
It was Kronos that encouraged me.
Hey, Tyron.
Nice.
What do Aussies do for the New Year? 'Cause I realize what we do when someone asks me. I'm like, oh yeah, we do that. What do Aussies do for the New Year?
It's different in most cities, but most of the time it's get to the beach. For fireworks.
Yeah, that's what ours was as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You guys are having summer down there while we're having winter in the New Year.
Yeah. And so many of the New Years that I was a part, like just so keen for, like it was going to be the biggest year ever, they just fell through catastrophically. Like we never got to the beach. Like the mission was get to the beach, but every other human is going to the beach. Yeah, you got to get to the beach, and you leave it till you think 2 hours is enough time to get to the beach, which is 20 minutes away. No. The tram breaks down or something goes wrong. It's always so the plans end up changing, but it's just it's a party night. New Year's is just super friendly in Australia, like really friendly.
Yeah,
so,
I went down on New Year's Eve, just before New Year's Eve, and I was like, why this? Like, it was 8 a.m, and there were tons of people at this motorway stop. Like, it was full, and I've never seen it full. And this lady's like, oh, everyone's heading to the beaches, and I'm like, oh yeah,
obviously, yeah.
Gee, they were full at 8 a.m.
At 8 a.m, yeah. I think that's because everyone just realized you got to start planning early, because if you leave it last minute, it always goes wrong. And so it's funny because as many times as Rennie and I have wanted to do something for New Year's Eve, we're showing our age. We just haven't pulled it together to make a big night of it since we've been together. It just hasn't been as big of a focus, but
I want to wish all of you fine ladies and gentlemen a wonderful evening. I have other venues that I must must make haste towards.
And do you have anything you want to plug?
Outside of Alyssa Milano, not really. But I suppose
Linda
we could
Park.
probably probably discuss what we have coming up on the pipeline. If we could just roll the clip, that would be phenomenal. Coming up, it is the Manic Monday Start Party that will start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and hopefully make it to at least 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the true midnight to midnight experience. Long-form party show where anybody could show up on the panel or in the chat and anything and everything could be discussed, including a game show. And of course, karaoke can potentially be unlocked. We hope to see you all there for the next video. We will also have a bonus karaoke show after Pop Culture Breakdown at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right at the very same channel. Check us out on Snowdub, Theta Zord, Canadian Spider-Man, Culture Casino, and many, many more channels that we are currently beginning our invasion and occupation of. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are everywhere. This advertisement was brought to you by the fine folks at Grey Tortoise Cigarettes, the new Coca-Cola Corporation, and Iodine Toothpaste, because if you're going to ruin your smile with the best new products, the least you can do is bring it on home with a tube of unmitigated bleach and fluoride. Thank you once again, Canadian Spider-Man, for hosting a wonderful show. And for everybody down under, Happy Australia Day!
Happy Australia Day indeed. Yeah, thanks for that. And I want to say hello and welcome to Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective.
Hey, Tommy.
You know, Spidey. I was looking at the inventions from down under, and it says permanently creased clothing is one of them. I just say they were lazy and laying on their clothing without ironing it.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, we take our clothes off at the beach, throw them on the sand, leave them there, and then
they just get creased.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back soon.
Take care, Tom. Alistair.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Appreciate that.
Am I the only one that can stay in character after a few beers? I guess so.
Yes.
Beers? What are you talking beers?
Oh, that's
we don't drink beers. We don't drink beers here.
I'm gonna go get. I'm gonna go get a beer. If you wouldn't mind.
I gotta go. I gotta run out and get a Foster's now.
Oh. Dear.
Well, have fun with that because that is literal horse piss that we export. We do not use it in our country.
That's like the Bud Light from Australia, yeah.
We literally, there is a percentage. It's not a huge percentage. It's like watered way down, but there's legit horse piss in every Foster's. We do that on purpose. We get the piss from the winner of the Melbourne Cup, which I'm not sure if you've seen. Like if you're into horse racing, it's a famous horse race.
It's a massive
in Australia every year. The winner of that race, we collect its piss, and it's just put into the Foster's brewery. Like
I don't know what's worse: the fact that it's horse piss or it's horse piss from Melbourne.
Well, yeah, it's just horse piss. You would know if you drink it. we don't drink it in Australia. It's like a meme. We thought everyone knew, but you guys you literally sell it here.
Never had a Foster, so I wouldn't even know what it tastes like.
Oh, you've had one.
Nope. Rolling Rock for me. Rolling Rock and Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. But they're both not very strong either. So.
No, I know you were listing some of your faves before. It's Steve. It's amazing how much Aussie culture you're familiar with. Like you are probably the most Aussie Canadian in the world. Like genuinely, I think you've seen more of my country than I have. You've been to some amazing places. You've had some great experiences. You own more didgeridoos than I do. It's pretty amazing, dude. Like,
well, he's also been to the Hines section of Australia, Perth. So,
yeah, I've never even been to WA. So,
no, you haven't. This is where this came from. My brother, shout out to Pat in Australind in Bunbury, sent me some Vegemite. Yeah,
Vegemite is great. I do.
Gross. I like it.
You know, we Americans only know of that stuff from that song. So by the what is it?
Vegemite sandwich.
Yeah. Well, what is that group? I forget the Men at Work. That's the only way we know it here in America.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's funny.
I could not, Tyron. I lived in Malaysia for like 6 months, and
Did you?
Vegemite, and Vegemite. I was pregnant with someone as well, and I every day I had to have Vegemite on my toast, and because Marmite was a fortune, it was like $4 for a Vegemite jar, and it was like $15 for the English Marmite jar. So I had to eat Vegemite every day, and I still could not enjoy the taste of it at all.
Really?
When I got back to New Zealand, I just like slathered Marmite on. I just couldn't get used to it.
That's interesting because I don't mind Marmite and I don't mind Promite, which is another similar one, but I just love Vegemite.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful with this stuff. I find it works the best on white bread, lightly toasted, like a chunk of butter. Like butter's better than margarine every day of the week. Right. Tons of butter, and then just very lightly with the
Marmite, Vegemite.
Super light with the Vegemite. Yeah. Oh man, I missed that. And
try
it. The balance is trying to get the saturation of butter to the spreadability of the Vegemite, right? Because otherwise you'll just tear your toast to shreds, and that's really where your balance is important. But yeah,
hey, you put enough butter on anything, and it cures a lot of evils. Yeah.
No, not Vegemite for me.
I tried. You should have just ate the bread plain.
Do you know the funny thing is, I don't know why I persisted with the Vegemite, but I had to have something like Marmite. Yeah, I had to have something like that. So and it was every day. It was
flavor,
gross,
isn't it?
It's just, I don't know. I feel like Vegemite is a sharper taste than Marmite.
It is. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm just not built for that stuff.
Can I ask what exactly Vegemite contains? What it's made out of? I mean, I have no idea.
It's a yeast
I've never had
extract. It. It's made from a yeast extract. So I think it's like crap that comes from them when they make the yeast.
Crap. Okay, that says it all. It's made from crap.
I thought it was like a byproduct of the beer manufacturing process, but I could be completely wrong on that. I just usually say no one really knows.
That's what I mean. When it's a byproduct, that means it's the stuff they don't want.
Yeah, it's stuff they don't want. Exactly.
So, can you see this? And do you know this movie, Tyron?
Okay, let me check.
The Nugget.
The Nugget.
Oh, The Nugget. Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Starring Eric Bana.
Right.
Eric Bana.
Castle has Eric Bana too.
Castle has Eric Bana too?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
He's married to the Sophie character.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that was him. So this is a great film. I saw this when I was in Australia in 2003. Came out in 2002. It's an Australian independent film. It's called The Nugget, and it's about how these three bogans are rednecks, Australian for redneck, find the largest gold nugget in the world, and it's hilarious. I was quite entertained by this movie.
It is.
Have you seen it?
So many years ago. I can vaguely remember what it's about because they're the last people that should be that rich. Sort of a bit like, but it's great. It's a great story. There's a whole bunch of movies that I've tried to get Rennie to watch, and I don't know if you've seen or even heard of Bad Boy Bubby. I imagine you might have, Steve.
No.
But Bad Boy Bubby is a horrific movie. It's a tough one to watch, but it's a great story. It's a challenging movie. It's definitely worth a watch. But yeah, I ruined my chances with introducing Rennie to a lot of things because he's like, your country just makes shit. And I was like, okay, all right. So I haven't even got her to watch The Castle yet, but that's certainly one.
Oh, she has to watch The Castle.
Have to do a watch party. I'm sure she will enjoy it if we're watching it as a watch party. That would be a good one.
It is good. You know what we were watching today? Farscape, and that's made in Australia as well.
Farscape, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, right. That is Australian, isn't it?
Man, I forget how good Australia's done for itself over the years sometimes.
Yeah. No,
We've got this tall poppy syndrome in Australia where if people do too well, we cut them down to size real fucking quick and just let them know that they're no better than us.
Crabs in a bucket type. Yeah.
It's I don't know. This is one of our least nice points.
Yeah. Now I've got something I'd like to share, and I might get canceled for this, but fuck it. Let's see. Have you heard of a fella by the name of Chopper Read?
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to introduce her to the other day. That was another one. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna show the chat. If you don't know this, you should. This is pretty Aussie, and if we disappear, it's because YouTube posted us. And for good reason, because this might get us canceled, folks. It's not exactly PC, but fuck it. Let's. Oh no, I gotta show the. All right, I have to share the audio. Okay. Okay, it's gonna. Oh, I'm gonna have to do it this way. Okay, I'll share the entire screen, whatever, and share the audio, so I get the audio. All right, fuck it, we'll do it. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live, folks.
Oh, we got infinity screens here.
We do, yeah. It's hang on.
Is that OBS or something? Or
no, this is StreamYards.
Oh, there it is.
And how? All right, is this? Can you see it now?
We see it. Yes, we see it.
Got it.
All right, and the volume is max.
that looks Australian already with those bricks.
I know it does. I think this is Brisbane. If I had to guess the city, I'd say Brisbane.
Okay.
All
right, folks. If we disappear, this is called. Now, this is an actor playing Chopper Read. He's a comedian. It's not actually Chopper Read is a famous, notorious gangster in Australia. So this is a comedian.
On the video.
It's called Chopper. Harden the fuck up. Harden the fuck up. So this is modern advice.
Hello, how the fuck are you? Chopper Read here. Now, one thing I've noticed all across Australia is that people are having a whinge, having a sook, or having a fucking cry about it. If the Anzacs were around today, I reckon they'd be fucking spewing. Australia needs to harden the fuck up. This is Anthony. He owns a big, shiny, fancy fucking four-wheel drive. But he's fire. Harden the fuck up, Anthony. He drinks soy milk in his coffee. Oh, look at me. I'm lactose intolerant. Why don't you try harden the fuck up, Peter? This is Teresa, and her dog has a psychiatrist. How about this, Teresa? Dr. Chop prescribes that you harden the fuck up. This is Stefan. His name is Stefan. Harden the fuck up, Stefan. This is Michael, and he won't go on a family holiday without taking his portable gaming console. Harden the fuck up, Michael. Oh, sorry, mate. Come here.
Oh.
That's Brisbane.
This is Jad. He spends an hour a day doing his hair. You're also a DJ, aren't you, mate?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you harden the fuck up?
Oh.
This is Bevan. He owns a pig dog. He sleeps with his Bowie knife, and once he cut off his own arm for a dare. Fucking spot on, Bevan.
Spot on.
Take your skirt off, cancel your manicure, grow a mustache, and harden the fuck up.
It's good advice for these times, man.
All right.
There was a sky tower in the back. There was a sky tower in the back of the
Yeah, high
and
rise,
this,
yeah.
Right here, this scene right here. I know where that is. Do you recognize that?
I'm
know it's a
I'm
Gold
not
Coast.
recognizing it.
It's Brisbane. That's Kings Park in Brisbane.
Oh.
Okay.
That's Kings Park in Brisbane. It would be.
We drive through Brisbane. We just drive through Brisbane to get to the Gold Coast, and then we drive back through to get to the airport.
That's what most people do, I think. Last time I was in Brisbane was 1988 for the World Expo. I was in Brisbane that year.
Actually,
Went to
I think
that.
I went there too. We went to Expo
Did
86
you?
in Canada, and then
We
we
were
went
in
to
the
Expo
same
88.
city. Wow. Small world. But
Yeah.
my brand new fishing rod and reel, which I just gotten for my birthday, and I was a very avid fisherman from a young age. Loved that rod and reel. I'd caught fish everywhere with it. I was going to be fishing in Brizzy in Queensland. Excited for it. Got stolen while we were at World Expo. My favorite fishing rod that I got for my birthday got stolen in Brisbane. I don't ever go to fucking Brisbane.
You never go
I've
full
had good
Brisbane, mate.
experiences there.
You never go.
Traumatized, right? You can have it. We dig a trench around Queensland. That's what that border's for.
I like Queens. It's my second favorite state next to Australia, Western Australia.
I hate that. When we went
Love
there on
Queensland.
holiday a couple of years ago, I took Blackout with me, so because their sun comes up at like 4 a.m. in summer. So I'm like, nah. So I brought Blackout for all the windows.
That's the way.
Yeah.
See, I would have just set my clock forward, and then I'd be fine. That's how I would deal with that situation.
It's those birds. Those birds start cawing at 4 a.m.
Flaming galahs.
That's something.
Flaming
That's a big
galahs.
thing I miss. It's the very distinctive birds like the magpies, the crows, and the galahs or the cockies and the kookaburras. Like I don't hear them in the morning anymore, and it's yeah. Like if I'm watching anything on telly and it's featuring Australia and I hear it.
Oh,
it went quiet. Is everybody still here? Oh no.
You go quiet for a second.
Oh, okay. I thought
No,
maybe I was the only one left here.
You missed the birds.
Still here?
Did you say you missed the birds?
Yeah, I missed the birds.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you know what? Get a bloody sound deck or something, or what do you call those? You could probably find a YouTube thing with the sounds in it.
I don't miss them that much, but it's just crows are very distinct. Magpies very distinct. You grow up with them your whole life and you miss them. It's like I still can't cross the road here. You're taught how to cross the road as a kid. Look to the left, look to the right, look to the left again. Fucking do that here, you're dead.
Yeah.
The car's coming the other side. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Man, you think you get used to it.
Yeah.
We don't use we just cross the road. We don't use lights and stuff like that. But apparently, it's frowned upon in America.
Yeah, we were always there were PSAs in America for years telling us cross at the green, not in between. I'm like,
West Kegel to get and I guess PvP. I don't know if you're still there or not, but do you know in and I don't know if New Zealand's the same way, but in Australia, if you stop at a red light. After you come to a complete stop in North America, you can then proceed and you can turn.
You can make a
turn.
turn.
That's such an awesome rule. You can't do that in Australia or New Zealand.
Really?
Nope.
Oh,
no.
I would be ticketed every day in
rule.
Australia then.
It's an awesome rule.
Red light means stop. You don't go.
Well, it means stop.
Yeah.
Actually, it means here in Jersey. It means slow down to make sure no one's coming the other way.
Yeah, that's basically it. But no, in Australia, I got pulled over, and fortunately, I took the cop back to the intersection because I actually did have the traffic light had a green arrow saying for me to go.
Yeah.
So and the cop didn't. You're giving people tickets and you didn't know that there was an arrow telling them to go. Like I was the first person he pulled over, and he said no, and I said yeah, dude. There's an arrow. So we walked back. This was in Perth, in downtown Perth. I was going to an interview to teach English in Japan, which I got the job, by the way. And I walked him back and I was going to be late. And I said, listen, I'm not an idiot. I've been driving in this country for a year now. There was an arrow. So I walked him back and we stood and waited for the traffic light to change and there was an arrow. And so he said, oh, well, I guess I'm done here. And I said, yeah, I guess so.
Move on. Move along. Go somewhere else.
Wow.
It was funny. That's like, yeah,
funny.
he's like, no, I'm officer. I know I'm Canadian, but I've been driving here a while. Like, I know. That was a lot of fun. And I
So can you drive there, Tyrone?
That's
I drove
the thing.
all over. I had no problem. How about you, Tyron? Any trouble driving in Texas?
I've only driven a couple of times, and that's at night. It kind of wigs me out a little bit here, man.
Is it
not
because of
just
the
getting
right
used to
left
the-
thing?
It is a little bit of that. It's not such a problem when I'm on it. I'm sort of more conscious of it when I'm thinking about actually doing it. But when I'm doing it, I'm pretty good with it. It's just people drive insane here.
Come to New Jersey.
Trucks are massive here in Texas. Like the trucks are as big as some small houses in Australia, and they have this tendency in Texas when the weather is poor, when it's bucketing down, they drive faster to get to wherever they need to be all that much quicker. Like if it's hailing, even faster. It's just absurd the way. Like I don't know what it is. It freaks me out, the traffic here. So I haven't made any efforts to get my license. It's worked out cheaper for me to just grab Ubers everywhere or drive with Rennie whenever we're going. But she loves it because she's a good driver. She's a great driver. And she knows the roads well, and she's quite an aggressive driver, so she's not shy about putting that foot down and getting in front of that
Spidey, are you
car.
booting us? Are you intentionally booting us off the stream here?
She makes my butt clench, and she knows it. She laughs, and she's like, "I can see your sphincter clenching from here, Tyron."
Sorry.
Yeah. In Jersey, I would actually like that from Texas. And in Jersey, anytime the weather gets bad, people put on their flashers and drive like 15 miles an hour on a 50-mile-an-hour road. I'm like, if you're that scared, don't be on the road in the bad weather. Go home.
PvP, are you napping or are you here with us?
Yeah, I was just laying down because I put supper in a while ago.
What do you think about driving on?
I'm tired because it's getting late, but
it is. Do you think do you think you'd give it a go driving on the other side of the road if you had an Australian in the passenger seat with you?
Oh hell yeah! I'm sure I get used to it quite quickly.
Yeah, cool. The roundabout.
I'm sure I would.
I like Australia has roundabouts a lot more than traffic lights.
Oh, they
make so much sense.
We got roundabouts. There's a roundabout I go through every couple times every week. Yep. I don't know why some people are so scared of roundabouts. Like I
can't
go
get
through
left
them every week, and I have no problem navigating a roundabout.
Have you seen Chevy Chase European Vacation?
Yeah, I can't get to the left.
Yeah, the trail.
No. But
he's going around Piccadilly Circle for forever.
you just got to signal which direction you're intending. And trouble is the other assholes that don't signal, they're the problem, right? I just slow down though, and if there's 2 or 3 cars in the roundabout, I'll just let them go, right? If they're gonna go in front of me, I'll just let them go. I don't find roundabouts a problem, really. 90% of the time, they work fine for me.
Yeah, there's so much infrastructure here in the US I've noticed that could be avoided just by putting in a freaking roundabout. Like there doesn't need to be 4 roads crossing each other at 4 different levels with 3 lanes or 2 lanes each.
It's true.
When a roundabout would have done that job, like a big roundabout would have done that. But that's just the way it's done here. That's cool. That does intimidate me though when I'm trying so hard to navigate in 3 dimensions, essentially.
I just want to finish my traffic comments.
Yeah.
You know what really pisses me off is there used to, I live in the end of a cul-de-sac. There's like 5 apartment buildings, and I'm on the end one, right? And I have a park across, and it's lovely. But when I go like a block and a half out, and I go to the main road that leads out of here, the powers that be at City Hall about 10 months ago decided, we don't have a great road anymore. We're going to put in a bike lane that's like 10 feet wide. We're going to put in concrete barriers everywhere. We're going to put in bus stops. Anyway, and they got these big yellow dividers everywhere. I've got to get a dash cam and show you guys the madness of this someday, because it is absolute lunacy. What I think it is, it's nanny state control of my driving habits, and I hate it, hate it, hate it.
Yep.
They want to get you out of cars.
No, but these yellow, huge yellow barriers they put up, they're like 6 or 7 feet long by like 4 feet wide, and they've narrowed the they're obstructions. They don't make the road safer, they make it more dangerous, because I can barely pass between myself and another car on some sections of the street that I have to drive on all the time. And if there's a city bus coming, oh fuck, forget that. I just will basically put it in park mode and wait for the bus to go by, because it is so narrow in some sections what the city hall has done. I'm sure if I tried to go by that with a bus, we'd have a collision or something. Like, it would be frightening.
It's narrow.
They have fucked it up so bad. And this is, the thing is, I've been here 10 years. The supermarket a couple blocks away. I used to be able, when I bought groceries there, I used to be able to like do a right turn. I used to be able to do a right turn, right, to come back to my apartment. They blocked all that off, so all you can do are left turns now. Ooh. I never saw one single accident in 10 years at that intersection.
Okay.
So it's just like they have not made it safer. They have made it harder and harder and harder to navigate this street. And anyway, I'm sorry I went on so long, but
no, that's.
I'm going to try and get some. I'm going to try and get some photos up one of these days, so you guys can really understand the bullshit that they're doing here.
So, hey, is that Dory? That's Dory, yeah.
So I was going to ask, does anyone in the chat? I don't know if does anyone here scuba dive besides me?
No.
I'm sorry, I don't.
I snorkeled for a little while.
Snorkeling is fun. Did that in Hawaii.
Do you recognize? Does anyone know this fish?
I just know it as Dory from Finding Nemo.
No, it looks kind of like Dory, but it's not Dory. Dory was a.
Are they those?
No, it's not a parrotfish.
It kind of looks like a parrotfish, doesn't it? But you can tell by the sloping forehead that's a triggerfish.
Oh, okay.
That is a triggerfish. They have beaks. They have beaks that will bite your finger off.
Oh,
and have people. Yep, triggerfish will attack you if they lay nests on the bottom of the ocean floor in the sand, and their protection zone is a cone, a cone that extends up, and as you go up in the water, it gets wider. So if a triggerfish starts attacking you, and you don't swim up because you won't get out of his zone, you got to swim down and away, and they will bite their teeth are incredible. Their beak is incredibly powerful. They don't normally attack humans, but it was something that we were warned of while diving in the Great Barrier Reef. So this is on the Great Barrier Reef, and this is a Titan triggerfish.
Wow.
Titan. How big is he, Steve? You can't tell from here. How big is he?
No, you can't. There's a humbug damselfish right behind him, I think. That is help. Bigger than a foot, bigger than 30 centimeters.
Okay.
Yep. And hello, Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. Welcome. And Greek letters is a godsend. Love Greek letters. That's a Titan triggerfish, folks.
Cool.
I just want to thank Spidey for saving me a lot of time, because I will never, ever swim in an ocean.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm too old. I'm too old to get my finger bitten off by a triggerfish.
And that's all. Those are yellowtail fusiliers.
Oh wow!
The yellowtail fusiliers are the ones.
Yeah, we got like mud sharks and shit here too. So like I I'll just take a pass.
Nah, he didn't bite me. I came out of it okay.
Yeah, but he probably thought you were cool because you were Canadian.
Ooh,
you know,
I got a better photo of a Titan. I just found a better photo of the Titan.
Oh, God.
Yeah, let's see. I can pull that up right here. Yeah. Let's stop that and share. Here's a better photo. And I took these photos as well, and it didn't bite me. So there's a Titan triggerfish. And see, when you go down deeper, the blue,
cool.
a lot of your images turn blue because the red light doesn't go down very far because it's the shortest wavelength. So yeah, that's a Titan triggerfish.
So are you saying that all fish look the same?
No.
Underwater?
They definitely do not look the same. Oh, heck no. They don't. But the red is taken away from your photos.
So you're saying why there's no like really intense fish porn at all?
That's well, there's no red. Yeah.
Because they can't do the red zone, right? So
they can't do the red. No, that's true.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right. And now I'm just looking to see if I have another. No, I think that was it as far as Titan triggerfish go.
That's
triggerfish. There's a couple of things that they teach you to look out for. Cone shells, anything cone, and Tyron, you know about cone shells, maybe?
Yeah, the cone shells. There's no anti-venom for cone shells.
No, they're deadly.
That's right.
Yeah, they're
so
deadly.
You're saying you make one mistake with that sucker and you're dead.
Pretty much, yeah.
Basically, the whole of Aussie's a death trap. Whether you're on land or in the water, it's just a big death trap.
Yeah, it's one continent where almost everything's trying to kill you.
Yeah, you know, we got like cougars and grizzly bears.
That's right. Mountain lions, bears. You got alligators.
Yeah, you got the box jellyfish, the inland taipan. I mean, good lord. Sea snakes.
I've been bitten by
we got animals that will kill you, but you guys have got us beat hands down. I gotta say,
it's not the spiders in Australia I worry about. It's like the box jellyfish, the inland taipan, all the deadly snakes you got. Good lord, every snake is venomous like hell.
That's true.
So is Australia? Is Australia one of the most scary countries in the world for like killer animals?
I think America would be more dangerous because they got bears.
That's the cold.
That's what I'm scared of. Like,
but bears are big and if you don't go out in the wilderness, they're not going to bother you.
Yeah, I'm a wilderness guy. I'm going to be out in the wilderness.
Right. The funnel web spider will show up in your house.
Yep.
That's the thing. A bear's not going to show up at my house tomorrow, right?
I've seen Daily Dose of Internet. Bears come to people's houses.
That's a great channel, by the way.
What the hell are you watching?
Let themselves into cars.
There's never been any bears in my neighborhood, I gotta say.
I would rather go. I'd rather go in the wilderness in Aussie than America.
No. We
mountain lions,
animals, but our dangerous animals mainly just stick out in the wilderness, like miles away from civilization. So
yeah, but that's where you want to go for a holiday.
You guys got the great white shark out there too in the ocean.
You have not asked me why I do not go camping.
Why don't you go camping?
Because those bears and cougars and wolves are out there, and I don't want to be their next meal.
See, I've heard all these stories on like techniques and strategies for dealing with bears. Like it's don't run uphill if it's a brown bear, run downhill because they like don't climb a tree if it's a black bear, like because they can climb. And so I'm like, do I climb the tree? Do I run up or downhill? What do I do? I don't know, man. Like if it's a bear, I'm just gonna lose my mind.
Don't run uphill, don't run downhill, and run in zigzags, and then play dead.
I have to say,
play dead. That's the other thing I've heard.
If you got a bear or a cougar, a predator on your radar screen, the worst thing you want to do is run.
True.
Because as soon as you run, you're classified as prey.
That's true.
And they will run you down and they will eat you for lunch.
So there's my little brother.
You never.
Oh, nice.
Never.
From
not so little.
From what is that? Perth.
This is Port Douglas, 4 Mile Beach again. In
those good-looking lads, hey?
Nice.
And
Yeah.
it's so direct. You know what that flag is, Tyron?
Oh, absolutely.
What's that flag mean?
It means stay away from that because that's where all the party poopers are. That's that's the most congested part of the beach. Like that's where all the people are. You want to stay away from that.
Skinny it is? Have you seen how slim, like small that tiny thing between the flags are? It's like ridiculous.
Sorry.
I thought it was going to say, "Hey, we're two really hot-looking dudes," and that flag is saying, "Hey, babes, we're available
over here." Yeah.
He was married at the time.
Well, who cares? We don't have to talk about what married men do we?
No, that's a ball cap turnaround.
Yeah.
We're cool, so they're turned around backwards.
Okay, I'm in silly land. I'm sorry.
But look at that. That's the bronze tanned look that we all want in Australia.
Man, we loved it there. I love Australia.
Damn, that's a beautiful beach.
Nice.
So that is wow. That's sand.
Beach.
Man, oh man.
I'll show you where it is.
The only time we see flags here in Jersey is if there's a riptide or excessive jellyfish. Yeah.
Well, let me clarify that because I was being silly. If you see those flags, swim between those flags. Our surf lifesavers do a great job of assessing all the threats on the beach. They know their local beaches very well. They know where the riptides are going to be at what sort of times of day, according to the tides and all that sort of stuff. They do a good job of being able to rescue folks if they're in distress. So if you're swimming between those flags and if you're in distress, you raise your hand. Those guys will come out and save you. You'll see them on pretty much every beach because Australians are, big beach goers, or every major metropolitan beach. I shouldn't be irresponsible and say don't swim.
No,
but
we can be irresponsible on this channel. We hand out legal advice all the time. It's fine.
I'm a lawyer. That's right.
I'm not a lawyer, but I play one on this stream.
Yes.
All right.
Get the other flag in. You only got one in.
So we're gonna show you. I'm gonna. Sorry.
There's New Zealand. A little
there
brother.
is. That's Australia.
Where's
when
New
they
Zealand?
get a prime minister who's got
There's
some
New
balls, they're going to claim New Zealand.
So I'm going to show.
as part of its territory.
Some people say that in
I'm
New
gonna
Zealand. They're like, when is New Zealand going to become a state of Australia? So they can become or domestic. Like it's a domestic trip rather than an
Port
international.
Douglas.
The Pacific Ocean will now be the Australia Ocean.
I'm going to show you
Yeah.
that.
Wait a minute, Carla. Isn't that a provision in both the countries' documents that New Zealand can become part of Australia?
It's never going to happen.
Is it?
No, we
my
want
husband says
that.
on the Australian one it is.
It is, yeah. It's we value
All
our
right.
rivalry with
There's
New Zealand
4 Mile
too much
Beach.
Yeah.
in terms of sport.
All this brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that.
Hopefully people can you see
Yeah, we
all
can see
this
it.
brown? That is that beach.
Oh wow, it's a big
And that
stretch,
photo was taken right up here. That photo was
Cool.
taken right here. Dougie's
What?
Backpackers Hostel is right here somewhere. Love Dougie's
What a
back. Where's Dougie?
Great
What are we
place to go
looking
for a
at?
jog in
I
the
don't know
morning.
what we're looking at.
Backpackers.
You remember
Oh,
those two
yeah.
really
It's right here.
good-looking dudes near the flag?
Austin, Davidson Street. It's right
That
here.
was this beach.
Dougie's Backpackers. Right there.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Very cool.
They're right here. No, yeah. So I stayed here. I stayed right here at Port Douglas.
What's that water there?
Right here at Dougie's Backpackers, and this was the beach, and this was
That's
the
the
beach right
Pacific.
here. Sorry,
Yeah, I
Carla?
guess that's
What's
the
all
Australia
that
Pacific.
water
Ocean.
there?
Australia
What's
Ocean.
all that water?
That's the ocean, yeah.
The water is
To
the
the left.
Coral
No,
Sea.
no,
This
no.
Oh,
is
inland, the
Trinity
other side.
Bay.
The other side,
What are they?
Spidey.
It's the Coral Sea. Oh, that
No, stop.
that's,
water. Go to your backpack.
that's,
No, not the river. Like if you zoom in again where your backpackers was, you can see there's a whole little pool, lagoony type, whatever looking things.
Septic tanks.
Go down. Go.
I have no idea.
No, okay, doesn't matter. Don't worry
Sewage
about it.
treatment.
You have to scroll up a
Oh,
little bit.
that was it. Okay.
There's a
okay.
lagoon there.
Two ponds.
Oh, that? Oh my
That
goodness, that's the
stuff.
Sheraton
Yeah.
Mirage. That's the
Oh, the
Sheraton
hotel.
Mirage.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
all these
wow.
pools are connected. Bill Clinton stayed
Wow.
there. They have a famous golf course. I snuck into the Sheraton Mirage. If you grab a towel off one of the lounge chairs, then you look like you belong there. Don't take your own towel because they'll kick you out. And it's
Well
not
said.
fenced. You can sneak into this property as long
No
as you
way.
act like you know what you're doing. I've got a photo of
Yeah.
you standing here. And all these pools are connected. It
Wow.
advertises over 2 acres of swimming pools.
That is
Wow.
Yeah, and crocodiles
Wow.
do come on the golf course there. Bill Clinton did have Secret Service checking. There's the golf course there, the Mirage Country Club. I had a buddy
yeah?
that worked the beer cart there. So yeah,
Steve,
we
if you've
snuck
got
into
the
the Sheraton
towel-
Mirage. They hate that.
If you've got the towel and you've got access to the pool area, does that also get you access to the buffet
Sorry?
as well? Because that
Yeah.
would be great.
Could be. Yeah, well, if you know where your
Yeah.
towel is, you're always good.
I don't have those kind of balls,
Oh,
I didn't
you
try
didn't-
that.
you-
but that's
You
4
didn't
Mile
go to
Beach
the-
right there, folks. Oh, and there's a lookout right here. They call it Flagstaff Hill, and it goes from the beach, and you can take stairs all the way up to this little road here, and it gives a beautiful 4 Mile Beach lookout. There it is, right there. And this
That's
lookout,
cool.
you can walk from the beach up those stairs,
Yeah.
and it's about a 20-minute walk, and you can see that
Nice.
whole view. And I've got a photo of that too.
Wow.
Hey,
Yeah. Anyway,
Spidey, have you ever
And I
thought
want to
about
stay.
have you ever thought about a second career as a travel agent?
Oh, you'd be awesome.
Seriously,
Yeah.
dude.
Mm.
You can be
love
making
to.
raking in big money
I think
Not these
Love
days.
arranging
to, man.
travel for other people like myself that are clueless. You can be raking
If-
in the coin,
if
man.
there's
You
money in
become
it,
a travel agent.
I don't think there's money
yeah,
in there.
I've thought about it, buddy. I've thought
You
about
can
it.
do it online or something, right? Because I know travel agents are passe and everybody books online, blah blah blah. But seriously, put up a website or something like
Love to.
you know, Canadian Spidey's friendly travel agency service, booking you the best experiences around the world of your entire life. Something like that.
I'd love to.
By the way,
here it is. I found the
you
picture.
You can use that slogan. That
Thank you,
slogan
PvP.
is free and available.
I appreciate that. Thank you, PvP.
I
Okay,
think
so
you'd
this
make
is a friend of mine.
phenomenal travel agent, man.
Thanks, PvP. I wish if there was money in it, man, I'd love to. I'd love to.
Yeah.
So I
imagine
do
most
have a
of them-
picture.
They're probably
So there's
all gonna
2
go,
acres of
man.
swimming pools.
Okay, cool.
all
Oh,
connected.
cool.
And this is a buddy. He's from Quebec. I remember this was 20 years ago. This is a buddy of mine from Quebec. His name is Charlie. And this is us on those swimming pools, on those pools in the Sheraton Mirage. There they are behind us. So that's the Sheraton Mirage. And there's me and Charlie sneaking in, pretending like we're supposed to be staying there. And it's a white hotel, white everything. And the pools are
Mhm.
beautiful and blue. And it was just incredible. Yeah. And yes, lemon pie. Bill Clinton stayed there, and he feels our pain.
Wow.
I feel your pain. I remember him saying that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what all those pools were there together. Yeah.
I'm so jealous. You have had such amazing international adventures.
It was a lot of
I-
sacrifice, man. I've never owned a house. I've never owned an expensive car.
You've
It's
only
a lot of sacrifice, my friend.
But I haven't either, but I've just made too many mistakes. I
Yeah,
wasn't
well,
smart like you and
that
planning and focused like you were. And you, my friend, you have had incredible adventures. And that's why I love your channel,
Why?
because I can
Thanks,
I
man.
can vicariously live through your adventures in my
I'm
own life.
glad you're here, man. I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you. And
I'll speak to that
you're
as
very
well,
welcome.
because even if it's just you putting on a bonfire, that's something I can't do even once a week. And I love getting into nature and just putting
dude,
there's something about a bonfire. And even if I'm just watching you build it and watching you having that experience, I'm like, oh man, I'm almost there.
I'm
I love
happy.
it, man. It's awesome.
Anytime, I'm happy to have you in there. So, have you
And
been?
that vid when you took that deer down as well. That was awesome. When
Yep.
you
I'm glad you like
that
that.
was great. Dude. Yeah.
So, do you know Sydney has a giant aquarium?
Oh yes, they do.
And this is the shark tank in that aquarium. This is a friend of mine. She's a diver. She doesn't work there anymore. Chloe, shout out to Chloe. But that's her in the scuba tank. And that's a great white shark she's about to feed. Do you see the great white shark?
You're kidding.
Chloe it's blurry. I'm sorry.
She's feeding great white sharks.
Yep, that's Chloe right there, and that's the great white shark that she's about to feed. She's in the tank at the Sydney Aquarium.
Oh.
I had a shitty camera.
Is that an experience that you can do, or is it her job?
No, she worked there.
Okay.
You can. My brother someone bought him a ticket to do it in Perth. He didn't do it.
My
son
did it. My son
Sydney.
swam with the sharks as well.
Yep, you can do that in Perth, but this is Sydney.
Okay.
Well, there are some sharks I'd swim with, but I ain't getting in the tank with a great white.
No, you do it in a cage. You go in a cage.
That's right.
You don't...
Yeah, you're in a cage. Well, no, my brother he wasn't in a cage. He was in a wetsuit.
Well, these kids were. They were kids.
Was she in a cage? It didn't look like she was in a cage.
She was not in a cage.
No. Aquarium.
My brother was not in
My God, I mean, she's taking her life in her hands, right?
Well, they're well fed. The sharks are well fed. They feed them every year.
So they're so stuffed they don't see people as a snack. Okay.
And I don't think Bill Clinton came up to the Sheraton while I was there in 2001. I don't recall Hillary being there. I don't think so.
I don't think Bill and Hillary hung around a lot, actually.
No, maybe not.
They didn't seem like a very good couple.
Yeah, well, they hung around together at least once. I mean, that's how you got Chelsea, so.
Yeah, and that's probably when they decided maybe we shouldn't do this anymore. I don't mean to be mean, but you know.
It's okay to be mean. It's fine.
I'm making a political joke, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah, we can talk politics on my channel. Wait, we're never gonna
politics, yeah.
So, do you guys know what these are and why are they related to Australia?
Oh my God. They're crystals.
Opals.
I thought they were opals, yeah.
They are
That's
opals.
what I thought they were.
Opals, yeah. Opals,
but I've never seen ones that are rainbow colored though. They're usually like a white color, yeah.
No, I've seen
all colors.
They're amazing colors.
Okay,
I have a small pink one.
That's news.
Have you been to Cuba Petey?
You have a small pink one. You might want to rephrase that.
I do. No.
Are you transitioning us, Spidey? No. You have a small pink one
there? Tyron, you just said something that caught my ear.
Yes. Yes. Have you been to Cuba Petey?
Yes. That's where I bought the opal, my friend.
Oh.
I knew it.
What do you know about Coober Pedy? Most Australians don't know about Coober Pedy that I know.
Coober Petey's a small town in South Australia.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically in the desert. A lot of its infrastructure is underground because it's known for its opal mining predominantly.
And it's hot, so they go underground.
Yeah, hot as hell. So yeah, you've got hotels, you've got accommodations all underground there. It's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
And you can still find a ton of opal out there as well. It's one of the world's biggest.
They're mining opals by digging underground, and that's right.
So
and their houses.
Is Australia the main source of opals in the world? Like I'm wondering.
Ooh,
couldn't tell you.
I have no idea if Australia is the primary source of opal mining.
We have so many natural resources that we just do not exploit. It's crazy.
Same as Canada.
Australia should be same as Canada. Yeah.
Now, what about whale sharks, Padawan? I swam with whale sharks in Thailand, and although you can't swim with whale sharks in one place in Australia, do you know where that is, Tyron?
No.
In Western Australia, halfway up near Exmouth, is a place called Ningaloo Reef.
Ningaloo Reef. You've had photos there before, haven't you?
Yep. Yeah.
They should give Spidey honorary Australian.
I'd love it. I'd move there in a heartbeat.
They should give him honorary citizenship.
I'd love to, man.
I don't know why it hasn't happened already. I'll reach out to Spidey and I'll make it happen.
I love Australia. I know a lot about it. I've been to almost every corner, man. I love Australia.
You know, the thing I love, Spidey, is You know, when you talk about Oz, it's like you know more about Oz than a lot of Aussies do. I'm betting, right?
Yeah, he does.
Well, you don't travel your own country until you're retired, do you?
But it's like when I talk to Gorilla and my friends in America, and you know, there's a lot of great people we chat with every week. I think I know as much, if not more, about the USA than they do sometimes. You know,
sometimes
like some
well,
people,
you don't travel
right?
your own country.
It's like you gotta. Even though I haven't traveled outside of Canada and the USA, I have traveled in the USA, but it's like I'd love to go to Europe or you know other countries eventually. But even if you don't have the physical means and the physical finances to travel, you can still discover these countries over the internet, right? Which is what I try to.
You sure can by joining my Thursday night travel stream every Thursday night, folks.
Very good.
There you go.
So here's Australia,
and
here's South Australia, and let's go take a look at Coober Pedy. Adelaide is the capital city. Adelaide is the capital of South Australia, and I drove from Adelaide to Coober Pedy. It was 10 hours on a ride from hell in a ute in the back. Oh my God! It was
in the back of the ute,
ride from hell.
So here's Adelaide.
Yeah, ute.
There's Adelaide.
It sounds like
and you go. There's one road.
What?
And here it is right here. So there's Coober Pedy right there.
Tyron.
Uh-oh. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, we call utes. You guys call utes. What do Americans call utes?
Sport utility vehicle.
Trucks is the closest thing. Like I guess, yeah.
Trucks.
Because I was trying to explain to them what a ute was.
Yeah, it's a cross between a sedan and a truck.
Yeah, it's like a sport utility vehicle. We call it here in the States.
There you go.
Okay.
So a ute is a means of transportation, then. Okay, I got it.
What is this?
I would never know what the hell you meant by ute. I would think you're talking about a jacket, a tent.
You know, the two utes from that movie with Joe Pesci.
Yeah,
exactly. Two utes.
I don't think I've seen that movie though.
So they do have some houses.
Wow.
They do have some structures above ground, but a lot of them are underground. A lot of these houses are underground.
Because of the heat?
There's a lot of mining here and a lot of because of the heat. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Well, that'd be your local football ground
Coober
there
Pedy,
as
folks.
well, that oval. Football and cricket. Even in the middle of the desert. Somewhere you can play cricket.
That's what, like Elon Musk wants to the moon or Mars. Why doesn't he colonize the bloody deserts in Australia?
Yeah.
Like, you have oxygen out already.
Don't give him ideas. He'll be landing rockets there.
Look at all the mining and all the holes and digging all around, eh?
Just everywhere.
So check this out, PvP. This is a subdivision with roads all around it, and these are all houses, but they're underground.
Wow, I need to see a video of that on YouTube.
Yeah, you've got lots of all underground.
I mean, you wouldn't have to worry about air conditioning, right?
I might have one somewhere.
So they're all hobbits in that town then.
Yeah.
Nope. You don't need to worry because underground it's 21 degrees Celsius all year round.
All day. Every day.
I do
speak American, Canadian Spider-Man. Speak American here. We don't know Celsius.
Well, sorry.
Well, the panel does.
You realize America is one of the last countries on Earth that doesn't.
We do real temperature here. Not that nonsense stuff.
I gotta say, you're the only country that doesn't do real temperature anymore.
Hey, we're America. You know, fall in line, people.
No, I don't have any of Coober Pedy right there.
So,
but
they're underground, so they don't need air conditioning because they stay cool.
That's right.
I have a question for people living in Florida. When your buildings get torn apart every couple years from a hurricane, why don't you build your homes like underground?
Because the water table is almost right next to the surface.
Okay, well.
But you can build a house that will survive a hurricane because
can.
Yeah.
It's not underground in Florida. No. It's all the whole state's a swamp.
Here you go, folks. There's an underground house in Coober Pedy.
Nice.
I saw these with my own eyes. These are real, and you can see the digging scrapes from the machinery.
Yeah. Yeah, and New Zealand is too wet. We couldn't do that ever.
Looks
Melbourne couldn't either.
Way fucking better than where I'm living. I'll tell you that right
now. Now there were two big films that were filmed in Coober Pedy. And Tyron, do you know which ones they were?
I got a feeling Mad Max was filmed out that way, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it was, though. A lot of it was filmed in the desert in South Australia, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it was filmed in Coober Pedy. Yeah.
Was that the first Mad Max or all of them?
No, the first Mad Max was filmed in Coober Pedy. Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm a big fan of those first 3 Mad Max films. I love those movies.
And
it's pretty cool.
They're probably in my top of my list for Aussie films. Like, it's not like I'm a big expert in Aussie films, but when I think of Aussie films, Mad Max always comes to mind.
Yep.
Yeah. Was the other movie A City in the Dark?
I didn't know about The City in the Dark.
Yeah, that's the one that has the line, "The dingoes ate my baby."
Oh,
it's the only Australian movie I know. So there you go.
that I'm not familiar with, but yeah, the Mad Max, of course, and I don't know if all of them were done in Coober Pedy, but Mad Max was definitely done in Coober Pedy, and also Pitch Black with Vin Diesel.
Black.
Was filmed in Coober Pedy. Pitch
there
Black.
You go.
And according, Kangaroo Jack with Jerry O'Connell, according to Internet, also filmed.
Oh, I remember that film. Yeah.
But yeah, it was an amazing place, and let me see if I can.
I'm just thinking, Spidey, like maybe a live stream about Australian cinema someday.
That would be fun.
Few weeks might be kind of fun to do, right? Because I gotta say, other than Mad Max, I'm not really tuned into Australian movies at all. My personal favorite is the second one, The Road Warrior.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
That's a masterpiece. And Brian May's score from Queen. Oh my God, that movie's so good. I love that movie. So yeah, we should do like an Australian cinema night or something.
I'm familiar with a couple of Australian indie films. Tyron, have you heard of Mullet? Have you heard of the film Mullet?
No, my problem.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
I'm not familiar, and I'd like to get familiar with Aussie films, but I'm totally ignorant. Other than Mad Max,
it's
pretty
a comedy.
much, right?
Dude, I would not have remembered that movie at all. But right now, I'm seeing him unwrap those 2 mullets from he's just unwrapping those fish.
Oh my God!
And he was a dude that was just trying to get by and make a buck, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, Carla, great. I think we'll probably wrap it up at the 3-hour mark.
Okay.
But yeah, Mullet. What is one, and the Castle, Mullet, Nugget. And what was the one about the cricketers? The guy the young kid that went with the old people and did cricket, lawn bowls.
Gosh.
Oh my God. I'm totally.
I cannot remember it.
He was an ace in the hole. It was called. Strange movie about this young guy. He gets fed up with hanging around his friends, and he goes and hangs out with old people. Cracker Jack. It was called Cracker Jack.
That sounds awesome. That sounds. I would love to do a watch party that, Spidey.
Yep, Cracker Jack. That was a funny movie.
That'd be.
You want a good movie? Muriel's Wedding.
Ooh, okay.
But I can relate to Cracker Jack what you just said, because I'm an old guy and I've discovered so many young friends in the last 2.5 years on here that are like in their 30s or whatever, or their 40s. And I'm an old geezer, and I have made so many awesomely cool friends that are much younger than me on YouTube here. And I love it because you guys are excellent. And I would love if you did that movie. If you could do a watch party of that movie.
I'd like to. I'll pull it up right now. Now, Tyron, did you say you have seen it?
I have seen it, yeah. At one stage or another, I would have seen pretty much all Australian movies. Like it's the thing to do when they come out. But then Australian movies do take a backseat to Hollywood blockbusters. You know what I mean? Like if they kick on, like you're not going to go and see an Aussie movie at the theater very often. Like that just doesn't happen. It was coming out to VHS. It was coming out to DVD.
Here it
is. And in the meantime, you're sort of waiting for those big blockbusters to come out at the video shop back in the day. Yeah, but we all get to watch Australian cinema kind of through school, especially you know the big names. But yeah.
Yeah,
sometimes you have to really sort of dig through and find, like, there's some good movies like Lantana as well, which are, kind of dramatic movies, but like the cast in Lantana is phenomenal. And it's a well-written story. It's believable characters. It's just so well acted, and I wouldn't say it's a flawless movie, but it's just so well done, and it's never talked about. Like, I don't know how many times it's even been on TV. It's just, I feel like it's a really good movie and really underrated. But and things like Bad Boy Bubby as well. It's the production value on it is terrible. It's a product of its time, but it's set in Port Adelaide, which is a suburb that I worked in while I lived in Adelaide. I lived and worked in the Port Adelaide area, and the suburb has not changed really compared to what's in that film in, say, 20 or 30 years. And the movie, though, just deals with some very twisted, just dark stuff. And it's difficult to wrap your head around, but it is a beautiful sort of love story in the end. And it is a story that goes and looks at sort of human misery, if you like, and the beauty that can come out of that. And I don't know where the concepts for it came from. It's just, I tried introducing it to Rennie. She's like, what the fuck is this? It's like not gonna happen. But
Cracker Jack. She might find the humor in Cracker Jack.
Definitely, I should have started off with some more of the comedies. Definitely breaking them up.
Can you put that in the private chat, because
sure, man.
You intrigue me now. I wouldn't mind watching that eventually.
I will, PvP. And so we're gonna wrap it up here, folks. 3-hour stream.
Like Gorilla says on prom night, right?
Thanks so much for being here, everybody. And does I don't know, do you have any final thoughts about Australia, Tyron, before we let you go? You are the Australian here.
Dude, I want to say I really appreciate you having some Australia talk time. That's made me feel at home tonight. Also, the entire time we've been having this conversation, I haven't been able to get out of my head an alternative answer to the question about the first food I would have if I went back to Australia.
Oh.
I really would love a big piece of barramundi with chips. Battered barramundi.
Tell people what barramundi is.
Barramundi is a fresh and saltwater fish in Australia. It's usually from up north, but it is a big fish. It's a trophy fish in a lot of ways as well. It's a good fighting fish. It's definitely one that anglers will go after. But it is a delicious eating fish. It is probably the best fish I've ever, the best freshwater fish I've ever eaten in my life. It's phenomenal.
Freshwater.
It's very clean. Yeah, you can get them in sort of estuaries as well, so they're fresh and salt as well. So they do have different tastes, and that's what I love about it. You can tell that was definitely a river fish. That was definitely an estuary fish. But it's such a versatile fish. You can have it battered, you can have it crumbed, you can have it in a curry. I used to make a barramundi curry. It's just chunky, delicious. Oh my goodness, what I wouldn't give for a piece of barramundi.
Nice.
I love that.
Good call. Marin would have been up on my list too. The
Marin,
freshwater lobster, Marin. Yeah. And Carla, thanks for being here. I'll see you probably with Doomcock in the chats, of course.
We love our New Zealand brothers and sisters. I've said it before. When I talk to people who try and explain the dynamics about Australia and New Zealand to Americans, for example. Like New Zealanders and Australians will take the piss out of each other all day, but if an Irishman or an American or any fucking one else has a go at a New Zealander right behind our backs, we're going to have their backs in a bar fight any day of the week. That's just the way it works.
Yeah.
The Anzac culture and history the Australian New Zealand Army Corps. They fought together through world wars, and it was a camaraderie that not only sort of built up through a military tradition, but sort of carried on, I think, as a general theme, because mateship is important both to New Zealanders and Australians.
The Anzac Bridge. Do you know where the Anzac Bridge is? What city?
Jesus.
The Anzac Bridge.
Is there a photo of that? I think.
The Anzac Bridge. Yeah, it's in Brisbane. It's a gorgeous bridge.
Yeah. I wouldn't have known
across
that.
So the New Zealanders would have the Australians, the Kiwis have the Aussies back, even if they're from Victoria?
We don't need them.
There's one main person that everyone hates from Victoria.
Dan Andrews.
Yeah.
Dictator Dan.
Right. So
my goodness. There's another 3 hours.
Wes Cagle. Thank you for being here, Wes Cagle. Do you have any final thoughts on Australia?
Yeah. If you go there, just pray something doesn't kill you. That's about it. Including the natives. And I mean the I don't mean the Aborigines. I mean the lunatic Australians. Yeah.
I'm telling you, more people die of the cold in Canada than do more.
Yeah, well, I'm sure more people die of malaria too. But
no, if you go to Australia, there's one thing that you really need to watch out for, and that's kangaroo breakdancing people.
Again, she was born in Auckland, New Zealand.
So you guys disown her then?
You're not gonna claim her then, eh?
That's funny.
Oh my God!
Yep, you heard it here first.
Thank you so much.
That is funny.
I know. I know Lemon Pie. They wouldn't let it go, and that's why I had to do it. I didn't want to do what I did. I don't want to do that, but I had to. You were letting it go, so that's why I did what I did. Thanks, Lemon.
Spidey needs to share his email with me.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for being. Welcome back anytime. Yeah, nice PvP. You don't have my email? I'll send it. It's pretty easy.
I don't have your email.
Wait. How you're meant to end it? Say hi to your mum for me. That's what you mean. How you meant to end it?
No.
Who ends like that?
Hey, hang on, Spidey. Here. Look. I saw this on a lawn this Halloween.
Oh fuck! That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's weird.
That's just
okay. I'm getting creeped out.
That's my email. You can reach me. What is it? It's Canadian Spider Steve at gmail.com.
Can you put it in the private chat for me?
I can. Canadian Spider Steve at gmail.
Play back the video.
If you go to the private chat, I'll share some stuff with you.
Absolutely. Because my first name is Steve, of course.
This has been really good, but I got lots of stuff about Australian bands I didn't want to talk about because I didn't want to steal the stream.
No, and well, I'm glad we got to. There's probably quite a bit. I mean, we could probably do a 2-hour live stream on it.
Well, I was going to talk about my absolute favorite Australian band, Divinals, but
you touch yourself.
That pisses me off. Everybody knows them from that crappy song, and I think that is one of the worst songs they ever made. because I consider that song to be a novelty tune. I think it's actually crap. And their first 3 albums are incredibly good hard rock. And that album, even though it has some good songs on it, oh man, when I listen to I Touch Myself, I'm like, oh God, I want to bang my head against the wall.
Yeah.
Might be a crap song, but she's hot in it.
Oh, she's hot. But, hey, but you haven't seen the early videos. And I would have shared the early videos, but there's a channel that has made them private, and I do have his stream, but I don't want to violate his intentions by, broadcasting the other people. So I can send them privately out to you guys, one by one. So yeah.
Well, I'm keen to do another stream PvP, and I'll invite you back, and maybe it'll just be the 2 of us, and we'll talk about music. That sounds good.
That would be great, actually. I'd love to talk about. Oh, I got
Carlos
a
Bone did die.
I got a 404 when I hit that.
All right, folks. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for coming on and talking about Australia.
Sure.
Oh, hold up? Okay.
Yeah, I got a 404 when I hit your link.
What are we waiting for, DJ? Music chat? Oh, okay. So DJ Play Nice, yes, you're invited. DJ Play Nice and PvP and I, the 3 of us, will be doing in a music chat.
Your link died. I got a 404 on your link, Spidey.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yep. Total 404.
That happens.
It says go to the home page where I don't know where the fuck that is.
Oh no, it must know. I just clicked on it. It works for me. Weird.
No, just give me.
But I will.
Just give me a big, huge 404 in my face.
Oh no, I'll send it to you. All right, folks. Thanks for being here, everyone. We're gonna.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Play the out.